It is 10:01. Good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs, 104.5 The Zone studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The NFL draft concluded over the weekend, and the Titans came away with an 8-man draft class, picking back up on day 2 with second-round linebacker Anthony Hill out of Texas. The Titans addressed the interior of the O-line with Arkansas guard Fernando Carmona Jr. in the 5th and Indiana center Pat Coogan in the 6th. Penn State running back Nick Singleton, Baylor D-tackle Jackie Marshall, and Oklahoma tight end Jaron Kanak rounded out the Titans' day 3 selections. Tennessee cornerback Gerard McCoy fell all the way to day 3 after being billed as a first-round prospect. Questions about the knee injury post-surgery led to McCoy going with the first pick in the 4th round, 101 overall, to the Raiders. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia fell out of the draft. He will have a rookie minicamp opportunity with the Baltimore Ravens. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
We made it. We've got a draft class. Everybody has filled out their rosters. You got UDFAs being signed. There will be a post-draft free agency, but for the most part, you got a good idea about who's going to be playing for your football team in 2026. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed draft weekend. It was a fun one on a number of different fronts. Robert is back from his draft getaway. Lucas is here and actually excited because the draft is now concluded, and you're here, 615-737-1045. If you want to jump in at any point, we would be happy to hear your feedback on the new 2026 Tennessee Titans draft class. F&M Bank Chat, also available, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. It's install week. Get your tickets. Titans GM Borgonzi, Mike Borgonzi, going to be explaining all of the process that went into this draft class and free agency live on Friday. Tickets available at 1045thezone.com. Robert, welcome back.
What up?
How are you?
Hungover.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel good, though.
Was it everything you could have possibly wanted?
This was the most fun draft just because you didn't know anything about it. I feel like once we got to 20, things just started going haywire. And I had a blast. It was just a lot of fun. I mean, I told you guys we play a ton of drinking games around the draft. I made the over-under bet Carson Beck 76.5. He goes at 75. Was very upset about that. Had to chug 2 beers back-to-back.
Okay, what kind of beer?
It was Modelo all weekend. It's Modelo time! And then you just have to hammer them.
Is that a chuggable beer, Modelo? I haven't had a Modelo in a while.
You open that throat, anything's chuggable.
Okay, very good. Glad you're back.
Also, yeah. Happy to be here. Also found out about the delicious. Have you guys ever had a Surfside before?
Yes.
Oh, my.
That's the iced tea?
Yes.
Yes.
Or you can get a half and half with lemonade.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dangerous.
It might have been Jaws, as many Surfsides as I killed.
You could
this weekend.
absolutely delete those on a boat at some point this summer.
Do they have them here? Do they have Surfsides in Tennessee?
I believe Surfsides are available in Tennessee.
I need my freezer and fridge and mini fridge and outdoor cooler stocked to the brim. I will not be drinking anything else. It's like drinking water.
No free ads. Lucas, the draft is over. Are you happy?
I am. I am happy because it was a very interesting draft. Thursday, to Robert's point, was very interesting. Usually the end of the first round, I feel like it kind of tails and you're like, okay, let's go ahead and see where the guys that are going to be first-round picks but weren't labeled as blue-chip prospects land. I feel like there are a lot of twists and turns in this draft. I think the quarterback class was very interesting, and the Titans come away addressing a lot of needs. Just doing it maybe in a roundabout way that was interesting. Probably more trades up than we anticipated, right? From Mike Borgonzi and company.
Yeah, they clearly targeted 2 players on defense that they really wanted. I'm sure the coaching staff had significant input on that. You'll hear from Mike Borgonzi. You'll hear from Carnell Tate. You may even hear some from Keldrick Falk and Robert Saleh. Let's go through the draft class here quickly. I'm sure you know this by now, but just to refresh, 8 members. So where are we? Just quickly, let's check in. on Mike Borgonzi and Chad Brinker and their stated goal. It was 30 picks over 3 drafts, correct? And 12 picks in the top 100. So, the Titans 2025 class, do you remember how many picks they had last year? How many selections they made last year?
Remind me.
9. So 9 last year, 8 this year. So we're slightly off track on 30 over 3. Again, these are ideal, perfect world scenarios, 30 over 3 and 12 in the top 100. But 9 last year, 8 this year. So the 8 picks this year, Carnell, Tate, Keldrick, Falk, as we talked about on Friday. Then on Friday night, they trade back up into the second round. They draft Anthony Hill Jr., the off-ball linebacker out of Texas. He's got a lot of sacks for an off-ball linebacker. Fernando Carmona. So because they traded up again into round 2, they did not have a 3rd round or a 4th round pick. At the top of round 5, they got Carmona. They traded away one of the 3 5th-round picks that they had. The second pick in the 5th round became Nick Singleton, the longtime Penn State running back, defensive tackle, undersized defensive tackle, and Jackie Marshall in round 6. A national champion and Pat Coogan in round 6 to come in and compete on the offensive line, the Indiana center, and Jaron Kanak. Is that how you said it?
That's how I said it, yes.
Okay.
I mean, you talked to him.
But I mean, it's like ETN, right? Telling people or letting people for the first 4 years of his career say his name incorrectly just because it's easier that way. I don't know. He didn't tell us specifically what his last name pronunciation was.
Did he seem like a nice guy?
He didn't even have the right Titans hat. Nobody got him an updated logo.
No.
He was wearing so I guess I didn't know that you could do this. You can order on Amazon all 32 NFL caps for your draft night, like in one order, and you can have all of them. They come in a pack. And so in Jaron Kanak's pack of NFL hats, they had a now retro Titans logo, the Fireball. And he was not aware that they had a new logo. So I think he was more happy than he was embarrassed about that. It's no big deal. He's going to get a new hat.
It's Kanak, actually.
Okay, so you were wrong.
Kanak.
Interesting.
Oh, Kanak Panic. Oh, dude, I cannot wait to come up with some of these guys already have nicknames, right? Who doesn't have nicknames so I can work on this?
You cannot give the 7th round tight end a nickname before he plays a snap of football.
Don't care. I've got Kanak Panic. Tight end 3.
Kanak like panic. Okay, very good. So that's your draft class. Second consecutive draft with at least 8 picks from the Titans PR notes on this. It's the first time. Can you tell me the last Ohio State first-round pick that the Titans made?
The last Ohio State first-rounder?
Like, who's the last first-round pick from Ohio State to be drafted by the Titans?
It's not Eddie, is it?
It is Eddie George.
Wow, okay.
It is, in fact, Eddie George. So, Carnell Tate and Pat Coogan have a pre-existing relationship.
Coog.
You can do this for everyone. What's Tate's?
Didn't he have one already?
I don't know.
No, I saw Tater. Isn't Tater?
No, that man is not named Tater.
Is it not? I thought I saw the Titans put something out.
Like the Ron White skit?
Yes.
And he's going to have a kid named Tater Tot? No, we're not doing that. Tater?
Road Grader Tater. Don't be talking about him like that.
He's a wide receiver.
No.
If he was a center, okay, Road Grader Tater.
No, he can move dudes out of the way. He's a big boy, long arms.
Okay,
He's Road Grader Tater. Don't be talking about him like that.
Do your worst for Nick Singleton. Let's just play this game to start the show.
Oh, the Singletons. Oh, the Singletons.
How is that where your mind, we need to donate it to science, like the people who have CTE? I'm not ruling that out.
Yeah, they're going to be like, oh, this one doesn't have CTE. This one has BET. This is terrible. I can work on Singleton. What about the Godfather, Fernando Carmona?
Yes, that's a good one. Fernando Carmona.
That was my favorite part of high school, all the Carmonas.
Again.
Miss you, Madison. Wonder what she's doing.
I am going to. Are we going to have to give you a break at some point during the show? I feel like because you've been off for a couple of days, this sicko. Okay, he's watching the show on Friday on his draft vacation. What's wrong with you?
Could it be me?
Not in it. There is not a world in which Lucas or me would turn on the show on a day that we are not on the show.
We were sitting in the living room. Everybody was kind of just like.
You made your friends watch that crap?
They want to. They watch all the time. They were like, we were trying to find something to watch, and it was like golf on. They were like, "You want to watch your show?" I was like, "Not really." And they were like, "Oh, let's put it on." And there you guys were. It was kind of like weird watching when you're out of town, but someone comes over to check your cats and you're watching them through your Ring camera. I felt like I was watching the Ring camera of the show. I was like,
a voyeur.
They're really floundering without me. This is nice.
Like a
voyeur.
I was tired, didn't want to be there. Lucas is trying to get people excited.
You both seemed like you had very high energy levels to really share with the people what happened after round one.
I was not feeling it. Anyway, so that's the Titans draft class. And the way that I was describing it, the way that I have been describing it, is it feels very safe. Feels very safe, right? We don't know what the long-term developmental situation for these players are going to be. We don't know how high of a ceiling they will achieve at any point in their careers. They have not even put yet on the uniform for us to judge them as what they're going to be as football players. But as far as the prospects that they added, all of these players as prospects feel very safe. Yes, there's not a lot of variance in the way that they're talked about. There's a range of young guys, especially in the early rounds, the first 3 rounds, they're all 21, who have developmental upside, but still productive. I know Falk is the one, if you wanted to pick at production, you could. There are some reasons he's explained as to why that went down. Anthony Hill also missing time with, I believe it was a left hand injury, which is why his numbers, if you were just box score scouting him, if you've never watched Anthony Hill at Texas, that you should factor that in. Nick Singleton, also somebody who had his production halved because they had, what's the name of the other Penn State? You may know this, Lucas, the other Penn State running back that they were splitting carries with last year.
Oh, no, I don't remember.
They were supposed to be they were both really well thought of heading into last season. Obviously, things went sideways for Penn State.
Yeah, I was upset that they didn't grab the other Penn State running back only because of his nickname.
Katron Allen.
Are you guys familiar with his nickname?
No, but it's got to be good. Katron.
Fat Man.
No way.
Yes.
He's 5'11", 217.
Apparently, when he was a little boy, his parents called him Fat Man, and it followed him. It followed him to college. I'm just more upset that the Commanders, who ended up drafting him,
in the 6th round,
do not have a running back whose nickname is Robin, because then they could be Fat Man and Robin.
Oh, they got rid of Brian Robinson.
Fat Rob Kelly is somewhere smiling right now that the Commanders have yet another Fat Man.
So, yeah, safe. And I know Gentry Estes had a column in the Tennessean talking about that they've definitely raised their floor. How much their talent ceiling has actually been elevated is fair to question. But coming in here in a draft class that they needed to get as much right as humanly possible with dudes who can play for the most part right away, at least 3 of these players are going to be able to contribute right away. And if you want to count Canick, don't call him Panic, on special teams, that's likely going to be an immediate contributor as well. It's fair to assume that all of them are going to play in some capacity in their rookie years.
Yeah, and I feel like this team was in a position to worry more about floor than ceiling.
Look how butthurt you are that he cut you off before you could make whatever stupid joke you've been sitting on all weekend.
Get locked in the Canick room. They go in 13, and he's out there on the edge. You about to get locked in the Canick room, buddy.
3rd and 12, time to hit the Canick button.
Canick button.
Oh, you didn't like Canick room, but you like Canick butt.
Yeah. Just because you've been gone for a couple of days doesn't mean all of them are gold, okay?
My friends think I'm very funny.
We got 3 hours.
We bump back with some Canick at the disco next.
Ooh, Canick at the... He's my favorite player in this class.
Widespread Canick was just playing
and alcohol in that voice. Oh, my God.
I care what you said, Lucas. What was that?
There was just a Widespread Canick show in Nashville.
Widespread Canick. Anthony the Thrill Hill.
You think people turned on their radio today expecting draft analysis?
They did. They just played at Ascend Amphitheater this past weekend.
What a mistake by the audience. NFL headlines are next. Nothing worse than a plumbing, HVAC, or electrical emergency. You don't know what it will cost or if it'll get fixed correctly or if someone is just trying to upsell you on something. That's when you call Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, because the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. That's incredibly important, especially in tough economic times when you're budgeting and you want to make sure that you know exactly what that repair is going to cost. That's why Hiller does business the way that they do. They're a family-owned and operated company for over 30 years, and they're here to help you through that process. Their techs are trusted and vetted, and you will even get a link to track your tech in real time once you've set your appointment so you don't waste your time waiting around, which is the worst part about scheduling these kind of appointments. HappyHiller.com is where you go. Happy you'll be, or the service is free. That's the Happy Hiller promise. So visit them online today, like I mentioned, at HappyHiller.com.
Oh, whether the Titans have you locked in your Canic room or you're listening to Canic at the Disco, Lucas has all of the NFL Draft Weekend reviews that you need here on NFL Headlines with Lucas Draft Zika.
The draft has concluded, and in my opinion, one of the most interesting positions of the 2026 NFL Draft was the quarterback position. There were some twists and turns in what was an interesting quarterback class, even if just by name only. Obviously, Fernando Mendoza up at the top as the number 1 overall pick. Ty Simpson landing 13th overall to the LA Rams. A lot of discussion around that. But how about the Cardinals using the first pick of the 3rd round to draft Carson Beck out of Miami? Just go ahead and put a Band-Aid on that quarterback room. Well, we need one. Let's just go ahead and get Carson Beck, 65 overall. Throw him in there with Jacoby Brissett. What do you mean you're holding out Jacoby Brissett? You're not even our starting quarterback yet. You got to win the job over the young Carson Beck. What do we make of Carson Beck to Arizona joining a QB room with Brissett and Gardner Minshew?
Look at you scolding the Cardinals because they didn't take Ty Simpson number 3. Look at you.
Could have had him.
Just not even hiding it.
Could see. Now, the Rams are a smart organization. I'm going to go full Dan Orlovsky here.
So, one, keep him out of Scottsdale. I can't think of a worse combination than Carson Beck and the city of Scottsdale.
Well, his evolved form is already there.
Who's that?
Do you guys know who the backup quarterback is behind Jacoby Brissett?
Oh, my God.
Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew. Yeah.
He's going to do numbers.
Mustache.
He
going to do numbers.
He is Carson Beck's evolved form. he has already been to Scottsdale and seen all the beautiful women. I'm not worried about it.
Carson Beck aspires to be Gardner Minshew.
Yes,
just as a person.
He would be happy with the Reaganomics trickle down of attractive women that leave Gardner Minshew and are left available for him.
I mean, the first pick of the 3rd round for Carson Beck. Once you can get him at value, I guess it's justified. He's not. He's closer to his final form of quarterbacking than a lot of these players are going to be. He's an older prospect, obviously. He's played a ton of college football, so he can be maybe closer to ready than somebody who's not had as much experience, as many starts as Carson Beck is. I mean, I want to be fair to the dude because he's played in some of the biggest games of the last, 4 college football seasons. So it's not like he's just this nobody, this nothing of a prospect, the way that some of these dudes are talked about. He has had some big screw-ups and big moments that are very public. He's not always handled things correctly. Wasn't another bit a part of the analysis around him at Georgia that he was a bit of a loner, and that when he got to Miami, they found ways to bring out more of his personality and stuff like that. Georgia wasn't super upset about seeing him go.
No one came to his birthday party.
It's
part
like
of the reason he fell.
The kid from Draft Day, right? Or LeBron James.
Bo Callahan.
With no, it's not LeBron James. Who's the Ohio State point guard that was there for 100 years that did Taco Tuesday and nobody showed up? Aaron Kraft. I hated that guy. Bleep Aaron Kraft.
Got Bruce Pearl fired at Tennessee.
Good. Aaron Kraft. Anyway, so I'm not gonna throw a big fit. He was the best quarterback left on the board. Right? He's not better than Drew Aller. Drew Aller may have more potential, higher level traits as a prospect. He went later in the 3rd round to the Steelers. Cade Klubnik to the Jets. Woof! Isn't there a quote out there? I thought it was one of these fake accounts that was just trying to get engagement. It said from a Jets beat reporter or something like that. It may be fake, but that Cade Klubnik in his Zoom gave the quote of woke up wanting to be a Jets player or something like that, which sounds like the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard in your life, other than Ty Simpson on the phone with Sean McVay, telling Sean McVay, Coach, let's make history together. And McVay's like, yeah, no, just go be with your family.
Sean's like, I already made plenty of history.
I'm good, bud.
They were having such a good draft, too. And then they take Cade.
The Jets?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like I woke up wanting to be a Jets player. I woke up today wanting to work at an AM station.
There's some poor sad sack doing an AM sports talk radio show for 3 people out there. That's not very nice of you.
It's very beautiful to me.
He went 110 overall to New York.
Buh. Cole Payton from North Dakota State, and I'm other than Taylon Green and Garrett Nussmeier, I was not familiar with the rest of these quarterbacks. I did not watch Rutgers football this year. I did not watch North Dakota State football this year.
Definitely was not familiar with Ethan Kaliakmanis.
There's no way that's how that's pronounced.
No, he was the Grecian. You need to appreciate the Grecianates out there. I love the Cole Payton pick.
There's so many better ways you could have gone.
Okay, you do
with
it then.
Greek.
What's the better way?
No, it's fine.
Way?
I'm just saying the way that you chose was terrible. I'm just here to secondhand criticize.
That's fine. That's fine. How long does Taylor Green stay on the Browns' carousel of quarterbacks? Because I don't think there's a worse spot. Like, he needed to go somewhere where he could sit and not be asked to start. But, like, it's not like he's in a room.
You don't think they're going to? No.
No, I don't think he's going to, but I don't think he could have went to a worse spot where he is expected to sit.
Sure.
What is he going to learn?
So Todd Monken is like, I know you said you don't want to play wide receiver, but do you want to play wide receiver? And he's going to say no. And he's going to say, okay, you're cut. And it's going to be a waste of a draft pick.
I respect this at this point from the Browns, just fully leaning in. 2 quarterbacks drafted last year, 1 drafted this year. Deshaun Watson still lurking around over there. I'm into it. Just keep bringing them in. One of them's going to hit Cleveland.
Somebody said in the chat where you can interact with the show, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, you can also call us with thoughts on the draft as a whole. It doesn't have to be specifically about the Titans draft. We will hyper-focus on the Titans draft, obviously, throughout the course of today's show. It's just worth taking a look around at other things that happened, where somebody in the chat says Diego Pavia signed with the LinkedIn Renegades. Yes, we are going to talk about Pavia and his draft party and what that looked like as he becomes, I think I saw, and this may be one of those things where I got Lucas, but is he only the 3rd Heisman runner-up to not get drafted?
Since 2014 with the Northern Illinois quarterback, I believe.
He's the first since 2014.
The first since 2014.
Jordan Lynch was the last Heisman finalist to go undrafted.
And I believe I saw an additional graphic that said it's only the 3rd time it's ever happened in the Heisman Trophy
That sounds about right.
era, but I don't, I don't have that graphic in front of me, so I don't want to misquote it.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
What kind of year did that guy have, the Northern Illinois quarterback? I didn't even know who that was when they brought his name up.
He was
insane.
a monster.
He was awesome.
Because he ended up, I think he ended up going to the Bears and playing running back in camp. I can't think of the guy's name.
He did, but I mean, he was.
What was his name?
In and out. Jordan Lynch.
Jordan Lynch.
Thank you for listening to the show.
Jordan Lynch.
Yes, he was so awesome.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is he related to Paxton?
I don't think so. Like, this dude as a quarterback threw for almost 3,000 yards and rushed for almost 2,000 yards in the 2013 season.
Here's a monster.
Like, he was insane at.
Because what was
Northern
their
Illinois.
highest ranking that season?
Oh,
They got into the top 25.
Well, Dave Doran was the head coach. That's what got him the NC State job. And he's very well liked, right, Robert?
Yes, they love Dave Doran.
Dave Doran? Love him
Dave
up there.
Doran. Yes, they love him. He's very nice to the media and is never cranky.
Sideline reporters everywhere cringe. It's like a crappier version of Pop.
Garrett Nussmeier kind of had the biggest fall of any quarterback. Injury issues, something going on there with Nussmeier, who fell all the way to the 7th round and lands in Kansas City.
Not something. Wasn't it a cyst on his spine?
Yes.
I mean, that sounds awful. Having never physically experienced anything like that, I don't know that I've ever heard of something like that. I'm sure it's happened before, but a cyst on your spine, anything to do with your back, especially playing that position, has to be just a living hell. Not to make excuses for him, but I think that's something that would be a reasonable explanation as to why he fell and why his production fell.
Yeah, and he struggled last year, too. I mean, he was injured. It was all sorts of stuff last year. Oblique, there was a nerve issue. He was not at his best a year ago. 10 quarterbacks going before Garrett Nussmeier, but not a bad spot to try and compete for a backup job if he's going to be healthy.
Sure. Nick Suss in the Titans media draft room this weekend called Garrett Nussmeier's situation comparable to Will Levis, that he had a much better second to last season. Your microphone's not on.
That's a good comparison.
Second to last season, and then had a drop-off in his final collegiate season. Obviously, Levis, a higher profile and higher talent ceiling prospect.
Yes, no doubt about that. So I thought this was very interesting. Pat Leonard was on local TV in New York. He covers the New York Giants. And the Giants draft was the first of the John Harbaugh era. They obviously took Arvell Reese, the pick after the Titans in the first round. But how about this from Pat Leonard on the potential future of Giants GM Joe Schoen?
Pat, for you, what's a headline we could be seeing this week?
Yeah, so speaking of someone who doesn't think running backs matter, you go over to the Giants building, and the intrigue going into and coming out of the draft is what is going to happen with general manager Joe Schoen. This has been on kind of the back burner because of the excitement of the players that the Giants are going to be addressing and adding and stacking to John Harbaugh's new team. But you talk to people in the league, it feels like anything's on the board right now. There are people in the NFL who think Joe Schoen could be fired this week.
No.
There are people who think that based on the positive returns publicly of this draft, that maybe he sticks around, but John Harbaugh moves on after the season because this is Joe Schoen's final year of his current contract. When Harbaugh was hired, what you heard around the league and for people who know how Harbaugh works and what he thinks was that eventually he was planning on moving on and bringing somebody that he's more familiar with, that he has a lot of respect for and has a history with, into that chair, into that general manager, that personnel seat. The Giants have been doing a lot of work right now to stress how positively they think this is going with Schoen and Harbaugh right now. But Harbaugh recognizes that they just had to trade number 97, Dexter Lawrence, because on this general manager's watch, it got so bad. 7-27 last 2 years, 13-38 last 3. The own locker room gave him a D+ grade, lowest grade of any general manager in the league. So very interesting, both to me and to everyone around the NFL who's talking about it, where this is going to go.
That's an angle we did not talk enough about with the Dexter Lawrence thing.
No. But that's a crazy statement to talk about Joe Schoen potentially being out this week. Like they're just waiting for the draft to come and go, and then, all right, see you, bud. We're going to move on.
Did you see the Dane Brugler tweet from, this was maybe a week, maybe not quite a full week before the draft? He was asking, or he was giving some analysis, or he put out the beast, or it was something to do with the Giants and John Harbaugh and Joe Schoen. And there was a Giants fan responding to Dane in the comment section about that he was wrong about something and that Harbaugh wasn't the one making the decisions as far as the roster goes. And he goes, the head coach is making the decisions. Harbaugh is in control there. So if Harbaugh basically just ran the draft, and obviously Joe Schoen's in the room, and his staff is there, but the staff is looking around like, who do I report to? Yes, sir, Mr. Harbaugh. Is it that far-fetched? I mean, it is an insane thought that Joe Schoen would be fired the week following the draft. But if John Harbaugh's already running the show and that guy's on thin ice and just botched Dexter Lawrence, which, again, we did not talk about, that's the personnel executive that, again, had an issue with a star player on his roster, cough, cough, Saquon. What a mess.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Would you rather? I mean, I think we got two interesting case studies on what to do with a general manager who is in an odd duck situation. Would you rather be in the situation that Kwesi Odafe-Mensah was, being fired before the Senior Bowl and not even getting to participate, getting shipped off, or be Joe Schoen and get to go through with your team's draft process, be alienated to being the redheaded stepchild in the corner, and then being fired after you didn't participate in it hardly at all?
Vikings.
Yeah.
Vikings not even close.
I would much rather be released. Oh, you want me to still work, but I have no say?
Yeah, if you don't want me here, get me out of here. Yeah.
Pay me my money, and I will go away, and I will sit on a beach in Aruba.
Yeah, man.
And that's the crazy thing is if they don't fire him, they don't owe him anything because this is the last year of his contract.
Yeah. Meanwhile, speaking of...
That just seems cruel. Just make him sit there and watch the draft and just take him out back and execute him for the public to see, essentially.
Everyone's dapping up Harbaugh like, great pick, coach, great pick. He was like, I would have made that pick too. I would have made that pick too.
Well, another NFL executive that falls in that same category as Joe Schoen of playing second fiddle to the head coach that's in the building is Patriots. What's his title? VP of Football Operations, something like that. Elliot Wolf.
Yeah.
But he actually did have a lot of say on Saturday as Mike Vrabel was not in the room. Now, I'm sure folks have some fatigue of this story by now, but it does continue to develop. And this was a weird situation on Saturday where ESPN reported initially that Vrabel was in, quote, constant contact with the Patriots during his absence on day 3, of course, seeking counseling outside of the state of Massachusetts with his family. And then ESPN retracted the report and said, nope, actually he had zero contact with the draft room whatsoever. Incredibly strange reporting situation around the Vrabel stuff on Saturday.
how many more ways can they and he get this wrong? Mike, just go away for a period of time. I understand that that's a very difficult thing for a control freak coach to do. But the idea, Lucas, why was it a football story? Why was it put into a spotlight on broadcast partners for the NFL for the first time this weekend? Reese Davis mentioned it. First Take finally got around to it on ESPN. Why was it a talking point for either of those networks who would have been happy to not talk about that story? Because they did it on the third day of the draft, and the head coach has to step away for something, and he can't wait until Sunday, and he can't do it during the first round. How many more ways can they botch this? How the hell do you let it get out there that you're in constant communication with the Patriots if you're supposed to be seeking therapy with your family out of the state?
Well, so Schrager said that on ESPN. I've been told from Patriot sources that they are in constant contact with Vrabel. And then he tweeted, Peter Schrager, quote, following up on the Vrabel report, it was my understanding that Coach Vrabel was going to be in contact with the staff via phone and text, but I've learned that in the end, both Vrabel and the team ultimately chose not to interrupt him and his family during day 3 of the draft.
It doesn't matter. How is it even remotely a consideration that you have to be contacted for when did they draft this quarterback? For the 7th round quarterback. Go away for a period of time if you are serious about addressing the problems that you need to address that put you in this mess. It's just a stupid story. It gets dumber every time there's an update on this.
Albert Breer was on local radio in Boston saying that he's heard Mike Vrabel has not exactly been the same Mike Vrabel over the last couple of weeks with that sort of bravado and confidence that carries him around the building. That's not been the case.
Honest to God, he better not be.
And
like if he's just walking around like nothing's wrong, what kind of sociopath behavior would that be?
And again, he was asked in that press conference on Thursday whether or not he would be around for some of the offseason program, and he basically said, I can't answer that right now. So the whole situation is very tenuous, very up in the air. And again, we've not seen Mike Vrabel go through something like this publicly. At every turn, it's been the great Mike Vrabel, look how good of a coach he is, and nothing ever seems to be his fault. And that tide has turned with this weird situation. But in Vrabel's absence, the Patriots selected in the 5th round defensive back Kayron Prunty. In the 6th round, offensive tackle Demetrius Crownover. My goodness, these are some names. Out of Texas A&M, linebacker Nnamdi Obiazor out of TCU, Frog. And Baron Morton, the 7th round quarterback out of Texas Tech that you mentioned. Jam Miller, the running back out of Alabama. And Quintavious Hutchins, the linebacker out of Boston College.
Love Q Hutch. Great pick.
What's your breakdown on Q Hutch?
Good player. Better than the Dolphins taking Caleb Douglas at 75 overall. I'll tell you that right now.
We got to talk about the Jags draft at some point. Oh, my God, James Gladstone.
Woof. Holy woof.
What is going on? Anyway, not enough time for that in the headlines.
No.
We'll do more headlines tomorrow.
And it is a good question to wrap up the Vrabel stuff. How is it that we don't know whether or not he's in the building today? Is he back?
That's the thing, man.
Like,
go away.
Yeah, it's just going to be.
You have to go away.
And they're leaving it to where at every turn, there's going to be questions there. So are you going to be here for this? Are you going to be here for this? Are you back for this?
He should have never given that dumbass Thursday press conference. There was no point. It was utterly useless. We had it on in the Titans media room. Me and Karski and Gentry were watching it on Gentry's laptop and like providing running commentary of what the hell is he doing? You're not saying anything. What was the point of this? Who are you taking advice from? Or rather, in a situation like this, knowing the principal party, whose advice are you ignoring up there at the podium? Because what the hell are you doing? How much more wrong could you possibly get this as somebody who just needs... I really think, and we'll put a bow on it with this, and we'll get back around to the Titans draft picks discussion right after this. He needs to take an indefinite leave over the summer because they can run the voluntary stuff without him, and then he needs to come back if he's serious about getting right with whatever the hell he needs to get right with, and then go about his business that way. If he's not going to step away indefinitely, he needs to take a break because it's stupid. It's just stupid. He's a story every time he gets out there for no reason. 615-737-1045 is the number. Our favorite and least favorite selections from the Titans draft class coming up next. Welcome back to the show. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. So, with a number of different stories coming out of the draft weekend, one story that we talked about a little bit on Friday was Gerard McCoy. Gerard McCoy, the projected certainly first-round talent at corner out of Tennessee, player who had missed his entire final season at Tennessee, dealing with a ACL tear. Then in the, would you say, Lucas, 10 days, not quite 2 weeks, in the lead up to the draft, that story about the bone plug and an issue that may need additional surgery that would cause him to miss time no more than 2 weeks.
I think that was like week of. I think it was Monday or Tuesday.
Maybe so. It all starts to blur together once you get through the actual draft itself. Either way, in the lead up to the draft, this news of Gerard McCoy potentially needing additional surgery that will cost him additional time as a pro comes out. So we go in and we say, all right, on Friday, where there are rounds 2 and 3, we'll see whether somebody is willing to spend a day 2 pick on Gerard McCoy. And Gerard McCoy goes the entire day 2 without being drafted. And then there are the Raiders sitting at the top of round 4 who take Gerard McCoy and say, all right, this is a very talented player. Perhaps he's only a one-contract player with this knee condition. Perhaps he's not going to be able to play at all his rookie year, but we can spend a 4th-round pick on him as opposed to a day 1 or day 2 pick. So Gerard McCoy goes to Vegas.
Yeah, first pick of the 4th round. It's hard not to think back to the Trey Smith free fall. Obviously, very different situations, but in principle, coming out of Tennessee, Trey Smith, a first-round talent, blood clot, concerns dropped him all the way to the 6th round, and he landed in a great situation where he's a 2-time Super Bowl champ and highest-paid guard in the NFL. A lot of things will have to happen for Gerard McCoy to have a spot where it works out as well as it did for Trey Smith. But the question is he going to have to miss any significant time his rookie year? Will the Raiders say, no, you're going to have to go ahead and get that procedure for the longevity of your career, even if it means just eating it in that first season? But it'll be up to him to kind of make the most of it, because if he is able to get right, he is without question a first-round talent. But I did not expect him to fall that far over the weekend, all the way to the 4th round.
Yeah, and for the Raiders, it's low risk, high reward potentially in that specific slot where I believe they traded back up to get him. They weren't scheduled to pick at the top of the 4th round. I believe that was a trade up situation, if I remember correctly, on Gerard McCoy. But it makes a lot of sense for both sides. It really sucks. Beyond just the football implications of it, it sucks for Gerard McCoy, who has had, I'm sure, a tough time with all of this. I think he's projected pretty well. He hasn't had any public missteps other than his body has kind of let him down after giving him the potential to earn. He's still going to be able to earn as a 4th-round pick, but this is going to be limiting certainly on his rookie contract from what he could have made as a 1st-round pick versus what he's going to make as a 4th-round pick, and how sustainable or how much damage this will do to the longevity of his pro career remains to be seen. You hope that he's dealt with the worst of it, that he comes out better on the other side of this surgery, and that he's able to have a healthy and long, productive NFL career.
It was actually the Titans pick initially.
Right.
101. And as part of that trade that got the Titans back into the back end of the 1st to draft Keldrick Falk, Buffalo got pick 101, which they ultimately dealt to Vegas, who drafted Gerard McCoy. Tore his ACL January of 2025, missed the entirety of the 2025 season, thought to be healthy going into the combine, and it was surprised on the day of the combine that he was not working out. He made it sound like he hadn't had enough of a ramp up to be the best version of himself, and he worked out at his pro day, and he was excellent at Tennessee's pro day. And then this other stuff about the bone plug and cartilage issue dropped literally days before the draft. So a wild pre-draft process for Gerard McCoy. If he is to go through this procedure and, let's just say, for the purposes of this conversation, miss his entire rookie year, then you're talking about a guy going into 2027 that hasn't played a snap of football since December of 2024. So that's a big risk as well if you're the Raiders and you want to go that route. So obviously we don't know, we don't have the medicals, and we wouldn't know what to do with them if we did. But I do wonder if they're kind of at a crossroads here on a decision to make. He says he feels good, and he says if the Raiders tell him he needs to go get surgery, he's going to get surgery. But I do wonder if there's a legitimate conversation there of like, okay, do we go ahead and put him out there, or do we risk this player sitting out for 2+ years for the hope of career longevity?
So the Raiders VP of player personnel, Brandon Hunt, was one of the people who was made available to media after the pick, and they said the team is waiting until McCoy gets in the building and meets with their medical staff specifically to determine whether he needs that next procedure. This is the quote: "We didn't even get that far. We have a great medical staff, Chris Cortez and Alex Guerrero." Okay, Alex Guerrero mentioned here. So if you're the Raiders and you've got the doctor that's not a doctor and he's figuring out all these different witchcraft type of ways to sustain players' career, is he going to be able to provide helpful insight and feedback on a player like Gerard McCoy? You have no idea, but it's at least worth exploring.
He's like rubbing sage on his knee.
I mean, I don't know what this guy does other than, no strawberries and avocado tequila or whatever it was with Tom Brady. We were going to get him in the building and make all the decisions right now. We're excited about celebrating this kid. We felt good about where we took him. It was an opportunity to get value. McCoy is arguably the best corner in the draft, and we feel like we have great people and a great process to make sure we get the best out of this player.
Interesting spot to take him. I mean, if it hits, then it's the best value of the NFL draft, right? Like if Gerard McCoy has no more health issues for the next 2-3 years and he plays at the level that he's thought he can play at, it's the best value for any team, any pick in this draft. If he doesn't, then it's a wasted, almost top 100 pick.
We will talk about our favorite selections of the Titans 8-man draft class. We will also talk about our least favorite picks coming out of 2026, or coming out of this weekend, where the Titans have added 8 new players. Second hour. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to help guys who have been experiencing performance issues. If your energy's off, if things aren't working like they used to, you're not alone. The Tennessee Men's Clinic has helped so many men figure out their specific situation. They're powered by Men's Pro, and what you'll love about them is that they've been doing this for years. They're not just the newest fly-by-night place or sketchy online pill that's being advertised on your algorithm. You're working with true medical providers. They run labs and build a plan around you, not some one-size-fits-all type of deal. Low performance, ED, weight loss, and even peptides like NAD+ are all the things that they have available for treatment processes. Their treatments have worked for thousands of guys, and most men say they wish they would have come in sooner. Right now, your lab panel and consultation are just $99. So visit them online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com or call them 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 for the Tennessee Men's Clinic.
11 o'clock, good morning from the Circa Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The NFL draft concluded over the weekend. The Titans came away with an 8-man draft class, picking back up on day 2 with second-round linebacker Anthony Hill out of Texas, addressing the interior of the offensive line with Arkansas guard Fernando Carmona Jr. in the 5th and Indiana center Pat Coogan in the 6th. Penn State running back Nick Singleton was selected in the 5th round. Baylor D-tackle Jackie Marshall and Oklahoma tight end Jaron Kanak rounded out the Titans' day 3 selections. Gerard McCoy, the Tennessee cornerback that was expected to go in the first, fell all the way to the first pick of the 4th round to Vegas with questions around his knee injury. And Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia went undrafted. He will get a rookie minicamp opportunity in Baltimore. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Eight new players getting ready to hit the field here in the next couple of days for rookie minicamp right around the corner. But first, we got to talk about who these guys are and where exactly they fill in on this particular Titans roster that had needs all over the place heading into the 2026 draft. Hope you enjoyed your draft weekend festivities. Lucas, I know you had to work Saturday. I don't know. Are you a day 3 draft person? Were you just checking it on your phone, or were you glued to the television like Robert and his 7 buddies were in a bunker somewhere in New Jersey for 3 straight days?
I was, before going to Geodis Park, at a baby shower on Saturday, and all the guys at the baby shower were definitely huddled around the TV in the living room. Yes, we were watching.
What do dudes do at a baby shower?
I have also been to one baby shower in my life and was confused as to why I was there.
It was fun. Our lovely friends, Henry and Kimberly, having a baby. We're very excited.
Congratulations to Henry and Kimberly.
Very, very excited for them. Everybody brought a box of diapers, and it was like, 20 people just hanging out.
Dang, what do you do with all them diapers?
You go through them.
Well, the baby ain't going to be here for a minute. What are they going to do, sit them in the pantry?
I failed to check the size of the diapers.
Oh, how big did you get?
I was admonished for showing up with size 6 diapers, which is too big. But the baby's going to grow.
Yeah, so you have diapers are going to sit in there. Diapers can't expire, can they?
No, but it also means like he could fill them up more. Like if you were to get a baby a bigger diaper, I think that would mean that there would be more room for them to do their business.
Multi-use diaper.
Right.
Situation.
I mean, it could last them 3-4 days.
Right. Yeah. Just keep them in it. I mean, I think that's economical.
Is it evident that not a single person on this show has a child?
I have 2 children, thank you. They missed me very much.
Ronan on the F&M Bank chat says, man, y'all are underdeveloped.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's completely fair. If you had to use one, or people size 6, I mean, wait, if you don't know anything about children, I assume you are around. Do any of your friends have kids at this point?
Oh, yeah, all of them.
My friends are also starting to get on like 2nd or potentially 3rd.
It's starting to happen. Mine are a couple that are getting to their first.
Yeah, somebody said, Lucas, that child won't be able to wear those for a year. Okay,
great. But then in a year, he can wear them.
In a year, he has
can wear
diapers. You just saved, I don't know, how much do diapers cost? Can anybody in the room tell me how much did you pay for these
let's
diapers?
Say $26.
It was like $40 for
Wow.
It was a box of I think 50 diapers, 37 bucks.
No, my baby be pooping on the floor. My baby would.
Well, that's
what about the reusable
Robert,
ones?
Again, I think that's also point of the baby shower. Help them out. Show up with some boxes of diapers so they don't have to go spend hundreds of dollars.
Robert's going to have this child wrapped in a Kroger bag.
You mean naked? Well, I mean, I feel like that's some cheap overalls right there. Just have him put his feet through the bottom. He's already got his little loops. You put your arms through.
I just think
I would have said like $10.
How much is this banana? $20?
I mean, I don't know.
If everybody had shown up with size 2 diapers or whatever's appropriate for an infant baby, then they could have too many of those diapers and not use them all. And then the baby's going to grow and outgrow those diapers. And, we only have, good thing Lucas brought the bigger size diapers that we can use when the baby is 1.
Somebody on YouTube says inflation's a mother.
Which Titans draft pick?
Just use Kroger bags, someone said.
That's
I literally just
Buck said that.
made that joke.
I wasn't listening.
We talked about baby putting his feet through like Fred Flintstone, the bottom. And
You didn't listen to either of us. We just did a whole bit about the Kroger bag.
When did that happen?
Which Titans pick most encompasses Lucas's forward diaper buying strategy? Which pick can help them the most in the future?
Reach.
Also
like the draft.
No, don't do this. It's over. There's no more reaches. The draft is
Lucas
over
got
with.
so mad at me. In the Friday grid, I had, did they reach for Darnell Tate? I was just looking for a reason to start a fight.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's not even like you're allowed to have that opinion, but like you weren't interested in having that opinion.
No, I don't care at all
just
about
interesting in like, all right, what's going to bother people? And like, I just had no desire to do that.
Yeah, you and me both. Anyway, so your favorite pick of the 8-man Titans draft class, 615-737-1045 is the number. If you want to chime in on your favorite or least favorite selection from this particular class. People are also pointing out in the chat that Lucas is biting and spitting out his nails on the other side of the studio.
I have not bit my nails one time. I do have a nail biting problem.
And spitting his nails everywhere.
What is wrong with you?
Check the tape. I have not done it one time today. I
Check
don't know.
the tape. They literally just watched you on tape.
I don't know where that comment is coming
I'm watching
from.
it right now.
I have not
Why
bit.
did you spit it?
I have not bit my nails
Stop
one time.
spitting in the studio.
That did not happen.
He's throwing candy all over the place. He's leaving a bunch of peanut M&Ms under the mini fridge, and he's biting his fingernails and spitting them on the ground.
This is just a lie.
Dawn
My nails
Davenport is
are untouched.
going to walk in here, sit in that chair, and feel like a crunch. Why are there so many fingernails?
If I go in there and find one fingernail, since
You have to eat them.
you're alleging
This
that there
place
are
is
no
spotless.
fingernails. If I find one fingernail, you have to eat it.
Okay. You're not going to find anything.
All right, you guys talk about the draft. I'll be there in a second.
That's how confident I am.
Very good. My favorite pick, I think it's going to be impossible for me to show zero bias about this, but I love that they picked Pat Coogan. That makes me very happy.
Draft evaluators don't seem to love him.
He's not very gifted athletically.
Right, but I was a fan of Pat Coogan just watching him speak in Indiana's lead up to the playoff. Notre Dame transfer that went to Indiana, immediately became a leader in that Indiana locker room. And he may not have the traits that like a Dane Brugler will fall in love with, but this dude was the offensive MVP of the Rose Bowl. How many points did Indiana put up in that game? 40-something? It was a blowout over
Just
Alabama?
under 40-something, I want to say. I think it was like 38 to 3.
Wasn't Mendoza. It wasn't.
No!
Omo. That is not.
That's a fingernail. Don't grab it.
Yeah, it's gone.
Don't grab it. You have to eat it.
You have to eat this fingernail.
You have to eat
You have to know.
that fingernail.
This is so unprofessional.
Robert
Lucas, just eat the fingernail.
Came in here
Eat it.
to find Lucas's. No! Spit it out. It's Robert's fingernail. Spit it out right now.
I didn't eat it. I pump faked it. Of course I didn't eat it. You thought I ate it? You just handed me.
Fine, you idiot.
You handed me
It was
your
my
fingernail. So
Why
now
did you eat his fingernail?
I didn't. I threw it. I threw it back. Now Robert's fingernail is going to be lying around on the floor. Now you're the one littering your fingernails on the floor.
Oh, I could throw up.
It was a bit, dude. You didn't have to.
Robert got in my ear as he walked out of the studio and said, I'm going to bite off one of my own.
Oh, you're disgusting.
I'm disgusting. Your reaction to it showed me that now he's looking for it. He's trying to find.
It's on the floor somewhere.
Nobody believes you. Oh, God. I can't believe you bit off your own fingernail for the bit. I hope you did not actually eat that.
Of course I didn't eat the fingernail.
Now you literally.
That's crazy.
Now you literally have Robert inside you.
Ooh. Oh, now the guy that accused you, I messed up. I said it was Lucas, but it was Robert.
Oh, my God. Just being wrongfully accused.
I didn't spit my nails anywhere, buddy.
Oh, yes, you did. Now your nails are on the floor in the studio. And if Dawn finds a fingernail, it's going to be on you.
Nope.
And it's on Tate.
Nope. Because it was concealed and you tried to eat it. Anyway, Pat Coogan. Tough as nails.
There has not been...
How am I supposed to go back?
Ridiculous.
What is wrong with us? We can't do one segment without just a disaster derailment. Yes, Pat Coogan's my favorite pick because I am completely biased, and he won a championship for my alma mater. That's why I like him.
Great analysis.
Yes, that is my analysis.
I was tempted to say Pat Coogan, even if he lacks the traits that you would want in a day one starter at center, which there's a reality where Pat Coogan could be like, there's going to be an all-out battle.
If he is out there week one, day one, I would be stunned.
Just what about the Titans acquisitions in the offseason make you confident enough to say that's the starting center day one? There's not a guy on the roster right now.
They have like 50-something starts between the two of them. They're going to at least start out in camp with those guys as the starting offense before Carmona or Coogan gets the opportunity to earn a job.
And Slater in there too. I mean, there is going to be competition across the board at center and at right guard going into training camp. But there's not been an offensive MVP in the Rose Bowl on the offensive line since 1944. Like World War II era was the last time. Not Mendoza, not Omar Cooper. Pat Coogan was the MVP of that game. So, yeah, hard not to like that pick. I'm not going to try and like parse through and see, all right, what's going to be like a one that maybe most, I'm just going to say Cardell Tate. I love, let's not wait around to put things around Cam Ward and give him these options. Let's just do it now. Make it happen now and give him the best wide receiver in this draft, in the Titans' opinion.
We'll talk more about that later in the show because I do think that even if you don't have the same standard for these players, there was a really good point made that I'd like to talk about in the noon hour about the expectation that people should be, these two people, Cam Ward and Carnell Tate, should be held to. We'll get to that later in the show. While Lucas continues to look for the fingernail that he almost assuredly ate, let's go to Jay in Spring Hill.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, not sports related, but since y'all are talking about the diaper issue, I have to share this story with you. So,
What was that?
What happened?
You tried to put the guy who was calling in on hold, and you hung
I hit
up.
the wrong button.
You just hung up
on Baby Diaper Dan.
Jay, I'm sorry. You can call us back. That was completely on me. Normally, when I hang up on people, I do it on purpose. That was not on purpose.
Just don't touch the phone. Just don't touch it.
Now, don't say that now. It makes me have to work harder.
I do so much more. I don't call screen necessarily, but I put people on hold all the time. I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry, Jay.
Call us back.
Call us back.
We'll get it at the top of the next segment.
That was my mistake. 615-737-1045 is the number. We'll get to Jay's diaper call and the best and worst classes of the NFL draft coming up next. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. So did Robert have his nails done when you ate his fingernail?
I know I eat everything that comes across me.
People on camera saw you.
I did the old, like you see in movies, people like pretend to take a shot and they just throw it back.
It's also what I would say if I ate it.
I don't want to talk about it anymore. I feel bad for people that are probably eating their lunch.
Yeah, they market us as catch up on all the latest news in your lunch hour. We're talking about eating each other's fingernails.
Stop. Stop it, please.
615-737-1045. We'll get back to draft talk, I swear to God, here in just a second. Let's go with Jay. I'm so sorry, Jay, I hung up on you.
Oh, it's all good, guys. We all have technical issues occasionally.
That was not a technical issue.
No, I was just, I'm dumb. I hit the wrong button. I'm dumb. It's not a technical issue.
No worries. Little while y'all are talking about diapers. So I'm a big sports fan like you, but calling a radio show talk about diapers. But I had an experience I figured I'd share with you and the audience. So I have a son that's grown in college. I've ran the gauntlet, so I've had kids, and I went with my wife to a baby shower last year, and all the spouses came, and anyway, we went, and they had contests. In one of the contests, they had 10 baby diapers lined up, and they put 10 different types of chocolate in them. And if you guessed what type of chocolate each one had, you won the prize.
Oh,
so
God.
me being the competitive person I am, I raised my hand. I'll go first. I can do this because it was a big prize, maybe $100 gift card. I got the first diaper, just leaned down to start to smell, and I puked. And I just had to share it with you because I was like, it just brought back memories. So anyway, I just sharing it with you. It's okay.
Wait, you puked because it was actual fecal matter or it was chocolate? What happened?
It was just the scenario of my kids growing up and having to change diapers.
You just had like a
visceral
flashback?
callball, a PTSD moment.
Okay. All right.
Yes, exactly. Just getting that close, going, I can't do this. So, and
thank you for sharing.
So much for not ruining people's lunch.
God, that would have been an incredible way to get someone to eat some dog crap.
Is it if it was actual poop?
Be like, oh, no, it's all chocolate, Hershey's, Reese's. We just microwaved them, mixed them down, go in and have a bite. It's like, this one looks old and white.
That's
what is
Go ahead, lick it.
Like stepbrothers.
When he said he threw up, I was like, oh, they did him dirty.
I thought for sure they got it.
Yeah.
It's a much better story. I would have lied. I would have said, yeah, it was poop. Somebody put poop in that
He just had a
diaper.
flat. The whole baby shower's horrified.
You told me you weren't going to do this. He's like, I'm sorry.
He throws up, then somebody else throws up because they saw him throw up, and it's just a baby shower.
It's like that Family Guy scene.
What is wrong with us today?
All right. Winners and losers.
Wait. Calm down. Brian has a call
Okay,
on
all right.
Carnell, Tate, Cam Moore.
Hopefully no fingernails are poop.
Yeah, hey guys. I was actually hungry before I called in, but now
Sorry.
I've lost my appetite for some reason. My question for the Carnell, Tate, Cam Ward thing was basically I saw last year with Cam Ward. It seemed to me like we had a hard time getting the receivers and Cam kind of on the same page, and it seemed to me like it was a lot of issues with like the speed and the trajectory of the ball coming in, and guys just kind of couldn't match up with how fast he's throwing the ball in. So do you guys see any issues with that, with like a new receiver coming in, especially as high as we drafted him? And two, if that may still be the case with a lot of the other receivers, what do you guys want to see as far as Cam working with the receivers in the off season and trying to get on the same page and trying to get them to understand the timing he's coming in with the ball? So I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the call. I mean, it's an extremely boring answer, but it's just reps. It's just time on task with that player, to the point where ultimately you would love for any quarterback and any receiving option to become what Kelsey and Mahomes are, right? Where it's just mind meld. Travis Kelce has been very successful as an NFL player because he's a great athlete and was a great athlete for the bulk of his career. But the reason why he's sustainable and has longevity is because he knows where that quarterback is going to look.
Yeah, and he also has that quarterback. That helps. But
sure,
yes.
But that's the comparison, right? That is a comparison that Cam draws because of his frenetic movement, some of it not necessary. That the thing that benefits Patrick Mahomes that also helps that quarterback be that quarterback is the fact that Travis Kelce can help him pick up the parts when he goes full playground mode. Now, the best way to help them is for you to cut back on the number of times when the play's breaking down and you just have to run around back there and try and make something happen. And you're talking about the velocity also with which the ball comes out. I mean, were there many times, it's not like Joe Flacco where guys would talk about you have to catch the ball a certain way or he'll break your fingers. If you catch a Joe Flacco pass or a Matt Stafford pass.
I mean, Brett Favre.
There's been other quarterbacks, but that's not really talk. Like Cam is not throwing it through your chest necessarily. That's not at least a part of the description that we've gotten from the wide receivers on missed opportunities. Calvin was inconsistent, dropped a lot of passes. Alec was inconsistent, though more available, also dropped a few passes last season. Gunnar and Chimere DK are trying to figure it out on the fly. They just got here with him last year. So, yeah, will there be a learning curve for Cam Ward and Carnell Tate? Yes, but the only way to fix that is time on task, practice reps,
to me,
as soon as humanly possible.
Above all, at wide receiver, I feel like the Titans had a separation issue last year, especially when Calvin Ridley's unavailable and it's Elikayo Manor and Chimere DK. I mean, those are your guys, rookie fourth-rounders. And then that leads to plays breaking down and Cam Ward having to go scramble mode and improvise a lot more. So I think the goal here is, yes, Cam Ward can extend the play with his legs, can make things happen, and if he can develop that telekinetic connection with someone like Carnell Tate to make the most of those opportunities, that's great. But I think the point is to mitigate the amount of times where that has to happen, right? And be able to run your offense and create enough separation to be able to connect downfield and do some things on all three levels on offense, just running your scheme as opposed to just Cam bail us out on this rollout and then somebody just finds an open space in the field.
So the book on Tate, and I'm just reading directly from Daniel Jeremiah's analysis here. He attacks defenders' leverage when they play him in off coverage. He has strong, reliable hands, and many people have said that he had the best hands in the draft class. Strong hands in traffic, tracks the ball beautifully over his shoulder down the field, should provide an immediate impact in the vertical passing game. So he can create separation. The biggest knock on him from anybody that's done analysis on Carnell Tate that I've found is that he's more often than not described as not super dynamic with the ball in his hands. And that's okay. If he can create separation, if he can add that vertical threat, that legitimate vertical threat to your passing game, if he has more consistent hands, I mean, he immediately becomes, I still think Calvin at his age is, that would be tough to say that Calvin Ridley at his age, given his last two seasons, is the better player. I would have a hard time saying that. Yeah, we'll see when the two of them get out on the field. But I think it's an open conversation for wide receiver one for this year's Titans offense. We'll get to some analysis from Malik Neighbors on the Bleacher Report draft show live stream that Trevor Sikkema and Adam Lefkoe and Micah Parsons was on. Did you see the exchange with Micah Parsons and Mekhi Lemon?
No.
It was very, very uncomfy. Micah Parsons trying to make jokes about Philadelphia Eagles and the NFC East as somebody who used to play in that division. Mekhi Lemon not entertained by that. He just continued his serpentine motion.
What's the guy in Monsters Inc., Randall?
Yes, he is very much Randall. Monsters Inc. Anyway, Malik Neighbors does not think that Carnell Tate is a number one wide receiver. We'll play that for you later on in the show.
All right, winners and losers of the NFL draft. The laziest draft conversation there is, and an opportunity to do it on the Monday following the draft. Who had the best draft? Who had the worst draft? Questions that are literally impossible to answer, not having watched any of these guys actually play in NFL games. But Cleveland seems to top these lists quite often. So what does that say about the Browns draft? Because it's not the first time that the Browns or the Jets have had a highly touted draft. but the results continue to be what they are. The funniest thing about the Jets is they actually have had good drafts, and it hasn't mattered.
Why? I mean, Cleveland is more in between there, but like, would you call Cleveland's draft last year bad?
No.
In fact, you would probably call it good.
Harold Fannin was probably the best rookie tight end, right, in the NFL last year. I mean, Shedeur Sanders ends up starting for them at the end of the year.
Rookie Defensive Player of the Year in Carson Schlesinger.
The linebacker. Yeah,
They went running back hard last year's draft.
I've never come away, and I would have to go through and look at every draft that they've had in, let's just say, the last 10 years to say, okay, they did, and try to remember what the thinking was at the time to do this effectively. But I don't ever remember thinking that the Browns have had a bad draft. It's just that the situation that they're placed into, these players, very rarely maximizes their ability to succeed, because Deshaun Watson isn't a draft pick. He's a player that they traded for, and they nuked essentially the franchise's competitive window with a bunch of good players who anybody would say were good. They had a good offensive line for a period of time. Nick Chubb was a very effective running back prior to his injury and, looked fine with the Houston Texans last year. Wasn't special, but still a good player when the Browns drafted him. The Browns have had good players. They have just found ways to mangle their competitive window at every turn, the most recent being the Deshaun Watson contract.
Yeah, and the Jets. I mean, the Jets, what was it, their 2023 draft? That was just lights out, star player after star player that all arrived in the NFL and were stars in the NFL. Think about how many home run hits the Jets have made in the draft, man. Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams and Garrett Wilson, and yet none of it matters. Here they are picking number 2 overall.
So what we're looking at here for the purposes of this exercise is a consensus NFL draft grade board. Now, Lucas is correct in saying we do not know how these classes will age in real time. But I do think that there's an acceptable way to do this that's not just for the purpose of doing it, right? You can look at where players were by consensus mocked in a lot of situations, understanding that we don't have access to these teams' draft boards. So we're doing it from an external standpoint. More often than not, things pretty well aligned. There are some surprises. The Jags, for what it's worth, surprised a great many people with where they decided to take players. Even Nick Saban is comfortable saying on a hot mic situation that a team reached in the first round for a player who hasn't played a snap yet. Could that player end up being worthy of what was the Cowboys pick at 20? Was that Malachi
Lawrence at UCF?
Malachi Lawrence. He could be a good player. Nick Saban is on the draft broadcast calling it a reach in real time. We don't know. So we're looking at a consensus draft grade board from places like NFL.com, the AP, The Ringer, ESPN, PFF, a number of different outlets that provide draft grades. Some, I think, with greater veracity than others. Lucas is right. The Cleveland Browns got by aggregate the highest GPA among places grading NFL drafts with a 3.83. In fact, it's considerably higher than the next closest, which is the Raiders at 3.68.
I mean, look at the Browns. What they did at receiver in the back end of the first round with Casey Concepcion, and then the early portion of the second round with Denzel Boston. And that's after selecting the best offensive tackle for many in the draft in Spencer Fano. And then Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, that I think many expected to go sooner than 58th overall, the safety out of Toledo, who only has to go a couple hours over in the same state. Right there, those first 4 picks, if you're a Cleveland fan, it's hard to feel like you could do a lot better there.
Almost by consensus, every outlet that was asked or did provide their own draft grade that was aggregated here gave the Jags the worst grade.
Wow.
The Jags at every turn seemed, and again, external view versus internal draft boards, there's going to be some differentiation.
And no first-round pick.
And no first-round pick because of the Travis Hunter trade. But the spots that these took, Robert, I would defer to you on the spots that they took some of these players. I don't know how much of a conversation the Jags were on your draft 3-day extravaganza, retreat, whatever you want to call it. But the Jags, by consensus, reached, it seems, on almost every pick that they took in James Gladstone's second offseason.
That is not named Emmanuel Pregnon.
Yeah, yes. The center or the guard out of Oregon.
And he fell because he's a 24-year-old prospect. A good prospect, but an older one. The Jags started the run on tight ends with Nate Bokircher, going. I think he was the third tight end selected after Sowers that started the run. They took Albert Regis, who Big Reg, everyone was a big fan of him, but everyone was a fan of him because they thought he was going to be a late day 3 pick. Ends up going in the 3rd round, so they liked him considerably more than the draft community did. It just seemed like they made a lot of reaches and going out and getting guys that they thought they wanted, but it is going to bring into question the validity of their process of why don't you guys do 30 visits? Why don't you guys do the combine? Why don't you guys meet for this if this class does not work out?
Even with the Jets, and we didn't talk about this in real time, but what was the reporting around the Jets and David Bailey, who they ultimately took with the 2nd-round pick?
Well, they canceled his 30 visit.
Okay.
And there was a lot of weird stuff there where he didn't seem to know who the GM was with the Jets. I don't think he had been to the facility, obviously, because they canceled the visit. I don't know. There was some strange stuff around the David Bailey pick.
So think about this. If you're the Jets and you have the history of just general dumb stuff that the Jets have had, is it not just worth taking the day to ensure that the player that you're going to select with the 2nd overall pick knows your GM because he's met him at the 30 visit?
It is a little odd.
Just spend the day with a guy that you're getting ready to take 2nd overall. Does it really harm you? Does it set you back that much in your evaluation process to use one of these 30 visits to further evaluate the player that you are getting ready to invest the 2nd overall pick in? I don't think there's any harm in it. Maybe it's an easy criticism to have after the fact. Maybe it will matter absolutely zero, and anybody with the Jets can point at you and say afterwards, no, we knew what we were doing. We had all our information on the player. That's done. But you're the Jets, okay? You don't get benefit of the doubt for the work that you do because you are an atrocity at every turn. I feel like it's just a very safe thing that harms you absolutely none to visit with David Bailey and make sure that he at least has a bearing on the place and the people that he's getting ready to go to, right?
Yeah, like what else are you doing on that day that is more important than ensuring your number 2 overall pick?
Let him meet your staff. Let him meet any players who are around the facility already. Give him at least a little bit of a head start here because he's going to one of the most famously dysfunctional organizations in football, and maybe it'll make him a little more at home if he gets the opportunity to get his feet under him at this 30 visit. It's just weird.
Where do the Titans fall in the metric you're looking at?
12th.
12. That is exactly where Dane Brugler has them ranked in his draft class rankings.
We should get Dane on post-draft. Let's give him a week. Let's give him a week to catch his breath, and then let's get Dane on maybe next week or the following. Lucas is gone for a week next week, right? You're going to – where are you going?
Be in Portugal.
Portugal.
Next week.
So maybe we get Dane Brugler next week, Robert, and we can go through some of his evaluations on the players and their fit here in Tennessee. But the highest grade that the Tennessee Titans draft class got from anyone was an A+ from the Sporting News. The lowest grade that anybody gave the Titans was a C, a flat C from Bleacher Report, from CBS Sports.
Is that Malik Neighbors? Did Malik Neighbors give that grade?
Bleacher Report did.
He was on Bleacher Report.
It says staff. So I think he is technically considered
Does he have
staff.
a key card or something?
Bleacher Report fell off. They're not what they used to be.
No, they fired all the good people, and then they poured all their money into giving Micah Parsons a podcast for all the good that does.
Yeah.
Is that a good podcast? Surely that's not a good podcast. With all due respect to Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I don't listen to things for that, like for what that's providing. Like you want to hear the athletes say something. I really don't care, just in my lane, about what they have to say. I only see clips of that show when he says something stupid or puts his foot in his mouth.
Can I say something that's probably going to come off a little bit petty? Maybe small.
Towards who?
Towards pro athletes.
Okay.
Shut up and dribble. Is that what you were about to say?
Not many of them are that interesting. Like, to be able to carry a podcast. Like, there are some who have interesting stories, and obviously their story to how they got to the pros and things like that are interesting, but I mean as people, as entertainers. There's not that many of them that are, like, Lawan and Compton are kind of unicorns. Darren Bates is a bit of a unicorn. I don't think that most of them are that kind of compelling.
Yeah,
maybe that just sounds like somebody who's,
No, I agree.
Okay.
I feel like he is compelling because of who he is and where he is in the NFL. And you don't see a ton of players like that, at least initially when it started, come out and say things about, oh, I didn't like the way this was done, or oh, I didn't like the way that was done. Like, you don't really see guys do that. Like Travis Kelce has a podcast, and he's an active player, but they don't really say anything.
They just, at this point, they just get the biggest guests, right? Because it's the Kelce brothers, and they get like Leonardo DiCaprio and Taylor Swift.
I think that's, they've turned into the late night circuit.
Yeah.
Like now late night, like the kind of guests that would go on a late night talk show are
New
now
Heights.
going on.
Right there. It's
New Heights.
on the list. So Brugler, for every ranking, does his favorite pick and a day 3 pick who could surprise. Who do you think his favorite pick was for the Titans?
Ooh. I go Anthony Hill because that was my favorite.
I'm going to say Falk.
He says Tate. He says, though most, including me, thought the Titans would go defense at 4, I love the idea of giving Cam Ward a 3-level presence on the outside. Given Tate's vertical pacing and tracking skills, Ward can let the ball fly with confidence. Who do you think was the day 3 pick he said could surprise?
Coogan.
I'll go Carmona.
Carmona. He says, right guard could be a trouble spot for the Titans, so Carmona should have every opportunity to compete. Experienced at both tackle and guard, he will be a swing backup from day 1 with the chance to be more.
So that's all you're looking for, I think, at the onset. Now, here it's a little bit more dire. I mean, if Fernando Carmona becomes the Titans starting guard in 2027, and he's a better player than whatever Cordell Volson is in 2026, but that's not immediately the case, I don't know. I'm not going to say you can live with that, but that's kind of the thought process here. Like, this guy could eventually start games for us.
I just don't think we can write anything in pen on the Titans interior outside of Peter Skoronski. Like, yes, there are, would you say, 50 combined starts between Schlotman and Volson, but those are both one-year deals, correct?
Schlotman and Volson are both one-year deals, yes.
Right. And we're talking about day 3 draft picks, but I just don't know that we can.
It's $9 million, though, for Schlotman. And like, that is more than just guy who comes in to compete type of money. That's guy who has started and can hold down a job for a reasonable amount of time money.
And then Jackson Slater is kind of the X factor in there coming into his second year.
So, Robert, do you have that clip of Mike Borgonzi from yesterday talking about the offensive line stuff? It's okay if you don't.
Was that with the follow-up?
There was, it was a 2-question exchange at the start of his press conference, his final press conference. So that would have been Saturday.
You want me to do it?
Sure.
Mike, day 3 picks a lot of times don't come in immediately and contribute on offense or defense, but do special teams. But given that you want to create competition on the offensive line, how quickly do you feel like Coogan and Carmona can get in that mix and have a chance to start?
Yeah, I mean, listen, these guys have played a lot of football, both of them. And they really do fit the definition of, I always say, like the tough, smart, dependable. I mean, they epitomize it, those two guys. And they've, like I said, they've had a lot of snaps here in college football. And they're physically, where they're at right now, the size. I think they can come right in here and compete.
How much does that experience, maybe not necessarily make up for what they may lack athletically, but benefit them as far as getting them in here and getting ready to compete right away?
Yeah, I think there's a maturation to it, especially with the O-linemen, that they've played so much, and they've been around, probably a lot of different coaches. Both guys had, Fernando was at San Jose State, went to Arkansas, and then with Pat was at Notre Dame, and then finished his season for your national champs. So they've played a lot of football, so I think that does help, Buck.
So the way, and you guys can tell me if you heard this differently, but the way that it sounded like to me is we have starting options, or we have options that we're prepared to start that we signed in free agency. These guys have played a ton of football. If we have to play them in their rookie years, at least it's not like they're swimming. It's not like we signed some project tackle that's a first-round pick because of traits or whatever. These guys have played just a ton of football. They have positional versatility, and we can find ways to shorten their learning curve. That's how it came off to me.
I think the benefit of what you get with both of them versus what they got with Slater last year, Slater came from Sacramento.
Yeah.
So he was really doing a double jump. He was jumping from like SEC quality to NFL quality. Both of these guys have played in the biggest leagues, played in the biggest games in college football. It's not a double jump for both of them as far as a learning curve goes. Like, as he alluded to, they played a lot of games. You would think that they would get brought up to speed and probably have more NFL-ready bodies than Slater did. I think that would be one of my biggest critiques of Slater, is that when he came in, he wasn't really a molded ball of clay. He was kind of just a round amalgamation blob. Like, both of these guys are probably going to come in with more NFL-ready body types than he had. And that's just me looking flatly. We'll know a whole lot more when we actually get to go out there and watch them.
You've got Carmona with 49 total starts in college football. You've got Coogan with 42 total starts. Those are the most. Let me see. Does Singleton? I don't know how many starts Singleton had off the top of my head. I know he was at Penn State for 4 years. Either way, we can continue to talk about this and get to Diego Pavia coming up next.
This is a different court, Blair.
Same result, Slay.
Oh, okay, Blair. See, that's Tyler Tanner. See, Tyler Tanner's in the house now.
Let's see what you got. Jerry's out, Blair.
Blair, come on. Okay, Blair, just come sit down. Come on, Blair, stop. You're going to get hurt. Blair, get off the court. That's enough.
What's the verdict, Blair?
The courtroom is where I play ball.
Boy, Durham, injury law. And that ain't got no roof.
Diego Pavia is somebody we have not yet talked about. He was, of course, one of the Heisman finalists this year, one of the most successful Vanderbilt quarterbacks ever, and somebody who has been doubted at every turn of his career, rightfully so, I think, given his physical limitations. But he's fought through that his entire career and was able to give Vanderbilt football and be a part of Vanderbilt football's most successful season in program history. He goes undrafted on Thursday, obviously, Friday, obviously, and then Saturday. He did not make it into the 257 draftable players this year. Now, I think that there's an argument to be made that if you get to the 7th round and you have not been selected, it is better for you to be at UDFA because you get to pick you get more say over your spot. You can potentially leverage your situation for more guaranteed money. And not every UDFA is going to have that luxury. But Pavia is somebody who I think enough NFL teams were prepared to call about in the UDFA process, even if they weren't prepared to spend a pick on him. Now, we don't necessarily have a way of knowing this exactly. But do you think that there is any level of Diego Pavia dialogue that's going on right now that is saying, whether it's factually accurate or not, that his personality hurt him in the draft process? Because everything that I think of Diego Pavia, I think people would love that on their team. Unless you're talking about, and this was correctly pointed out to us by somebody smarter than us, a quarterback room that's set where you're not necessarily looking to drive up competition in that room more than any other room.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the dynamic you want in your quarterback room, right?
Him specifically.
The pesky undrafted guy that's telling everybody that'll listen, he'll be the starter. Now, I remember Gardner Minshew telling the world that he's not going number 2 in the bathroom because he refuses to have the number 2 in his life when he was competing with Trevor Lawrence. Do you remember that? Who is it? I can't remember who. Maybe it was like Chris Long's podcast or something. Yeah. I won't even go number 2. It's not even part of my life. I'm not even considering it. I want to start for this team. Of course you're not going to start. He's the number 1 overall pick. But I don't know if that's the exact dynamic you're looking for when you bring in a guy like Diego Pavia that at best right now is competing for QB3. Robert, can you remind us who the backup currently is in Baltimore?
We did not mention, by the way, that he has been signed by the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, not signed.
He's going to rookie minicamp.
Yeah, he has a rookie minicamp invite.
Okay.
He has an opportunity.
I think it's interesting this year. You're seeing multiple, and maybe this has been going on and I just didn't notice it. You're seeing players participate in multiple teams' rookie minicamp. I didn't know that was a thing before or if there was a rule change about it. A little ignorant on my part, but I had not noticed that. So the Ravens' quarterback situation right now, obviously Lamar Jackson, Snoop Hundley, backs him up. And they had no other quarterbacks on the roster. So they have 2 players that are participating in their rookie minicamp tryouts. That's Joey Fagnano, who went to Connecticut, and the aforementioned Diego Pavia. I would imagine both of them make it. Most teams don't go into camp with any less than 4 quarterbacks just for rep's sake, saving your backup's arm, getting a look at some other guys. It wouldn't surprise me if both of them weren't signed. The Ravens had the fewest number of players under contract before the NFL draft. I believe it was around 51. A full roster is 53, and a full offseason roster is 90. So they had around 90 or 40 open spots to add players. I'd imagine they both get added, and they get to compete for QB3.
I do think the off-field stuff for Pavia gets overblown in this discussion, strictly the discussion of why he wasn't drafted. I'm sure it didn't help him, posting F all the voters after the Heisman and all of the things. I'm sure it didn't help, but I also don't know that if you take all that stuff away, Diego Pavia gets taken in the 5th or 6th round. Like, the limitations are all still there.
No, he's still 5'10".
Yeah, and I liked what Chris Vanini of The Athletic had to say about it, kind of flipping it around on Pavia. He says, instead of saying Diego Pavia is the first Heisman finalist to not get drafted since 2014, he's the first let's say, instead, he's the first undrafted player to be a Heisman finalist since 2014. Because he has overcome all of those limitations so far at every turn, and he's going to get another chance to. It doesn't mean a team has to spend a draft pick on him. And, yeah, like we said, I just don't know that that's the dynamic you're looking for in a backup quarterback, right? You want to create competition in every room in an NFL building, maybe except for at quarterback. That might be the one position in professional football where teams shy away from competition.
Jason White in 2003, Jordan Lynch, who we mentioned in 2014, are the other two Heisman Trophy finalists to not get drafted, certainly this century. I don't know how many more there are beyond that, but those are the two other names that he has come up with in the last couple of days. So, for Diego Pavia, I saw that he had a draft party. He had the hats there and ready. I'm sure that's a tough situation. Did you see the thing I sent you guys about it's not actually his brother, what his brother would be like at a draft party where he's trying to keep the energy up?
Like smashing tables.
Some dude go like basically participating in a mosh pit without an actual...
Kicking that little baby.
Slamming his face through the table. Just, look, guys, laugh. So hopefully Pavia gets he's got his opportunity here. We'll see what he does with this opportunity. We will have rookie minicamp availability here. It sounds like no later than tomorrow for the Titans, and I'm sure the rest of that will come out for other teams as they're putting these things together. 615-737-1045 is the number. Let's talk about Carnell Tate and Cam Ward. What are your expectations for these two very highly drafted players in their first year together? I was not thinking along the lines that this conversation is going to go until this morning, when, again, somebody very, very much smarter than us gave me a really good thought about how these two should be viewed. We'll get into that coming up next.
12:02, good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The NFL draft concluded over the weekend, and the Titans came away with an 8-man draft class, picking back up on day 2 with second-round linebacker Anthony Hill out of Texas, addressing the interior of the offensive line with Arkansas guard Fernando Carmona Jr. in the 5th, and Indiana center Pat Coogan in the 6th. Penn State running back Nick Singleton, Baylor defensive tackle Jackie Marshall, and Oklahoma tight end Jared Kanik rounded out the Titans' Day 3 selections. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Depend on who you ask, there's probably some mixed opinion on whether Carnell Tate projects as a wide receiver 1 in the NFL. But with a number 1 overall pick at quarterback and a wide receiver drafted inside the top 5, top 4, as a matter of fact, the second highest drafted player at that position in the franchise's history and the highest drafted player at that position in the Titans era, where do you set the bar for Cam Ward and Carnell Tate in year 1? What's fair? Because a lot of criticisms that I had for Cam Ward last year, I was met with a lot of pushback on him and his circumstance, and understandably so, important context for why Cam Ward struggled in moments, why he was on a 3-14 football team, why he did not appreciably improve their record despite being a better player than Will Levis was and Mason Rudolph was in the season before him. Carnell Tate, as I mentioned, is not, as a prospect, Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, but he is drafted. I mean, hell, he was drafted 1 pick before Chase was drafted, and he's the best wide receiver in his draft class. Should the context of this particular draft class be applied to whatever Carnell Tate's career becomes? Absolutely, because he's the best wide receiver to be taken. And it's not his fault, right? That's a good thing. He's had an incredibly accomplished college career. He goes to a place with a quarterback that needs him desperately. But where do you kind of set the bar for Carnell Tate and Cam Ward in year 1? 615-737-1045 is the number. If you want to jump in, you can also go Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch if you would like to participate there. Counting stats do not define success in year 1, though production for a wide receiver and a quarterback are a critical component of did you win or did you lose? Did you impact the game in a way that put you over the top, that gave you a chance to succeed, that scored the game-winning touchdown on a drive where you're trailing by 3 or by 1 score in a game? What was or what will be the defining qualifications for success for Carnell Tate in year 1? Because there's not a lot of wide receivers drafted inside the top 5 or inside even the top 10 to play with a quarterback that's been drafted number 1 overall. It's a pretty accomplished list if you go back and look at even the last 3 decades of this. It's not that many names.
Yeah, I get caught between setting the bar at just number 4 overall pick means you got to deliver at a certain level versus setting the bar around the context of that particular draft class. Because as we talked about with Corey Davis, the Titans tried to move out of that number 5 overall pick. They didn't have the opportunity to do so. They picked up the best wide receiver in the class, addressing a massive need. It's really hard for me to go back and say Corey Davis was a failure here because he didn't have Jamar Chase-like numbers when he was indeed the best wide receiver the Titans could have had in that draft. Like, to me, that's a hard game to play where you look back at that draft in particular and you say that was a disappointment of a pick, but it's like, okay, then what else would you have liked them to do? So in this draft, I will probably be comparing Carnell Tate more to the likes of Jordan Tyson and Mekhi Lennon than I will Jamar Chase, because Jamar Chase had some ungodly rookie numbers and continues to produce at one of the highest levels in the NFL. Like if you're making a list of the 3 best wide receivers in the NFL, it's very, very difficult to not include Jamar Chase on that list. So does that mean if Carnell Tate doesn't work his way into that conversation of one of the 2 or 3 best receivers in the NFL, that it was a bad pick? Like I have a hard time making that leap, but yet still there's no question when you have that type of investment in a quarterback and a wide receiver tandem, you expect it to be, to operate at a very high level that gets you to playoff contention.
Yeah, so I agree with what you're saying about the nuance and the context required to talk about expectations for him. I also think that if you are drafted at that slot, then a team believes that you have that potential in you, regardless of the context of the draft in which you were taken. If a team says he's the best wide receiver on our board, he's the best player on our board, we are comfortable taking him inside the top 5, that means that team has a reasonable expectation that you have wide receiver 1, whatever you consider that to be, potential. He is probably going to be wide receiver 1 in Tennessee in his first year. Does that mean that he has to have 80 receptions and 1,500 yards and all these other things? No. And Jamar Chase is the highest end of that. Your eyebrows just went up as if there's something that's happening.
There's some college football news here that is significant for one of the biggest money transfers at quarterback in the country.
Do you want to mention it, and then we can swing back around to it in a little bit?
Pete Thamel of ESPN just tweeted that according to sources, Texas Tech transfer quarterback Brendan Sorsby is checking into a residential treatment program for a gambling addiction. He is under NCAA investigation in the wake of the discovery of Sorsby making thousands of bets via a gambling app.
Jesus Christ.
Sorsby bet on Indiana football while redshirting for Indiana as a true freshman in 2022, a season in which he played in a single game as a reserve. Those bets in 2022, per sources, were on Indiana to win. None of them came in a game in which he appeared.
Void their championship.
He continues. Sorsby's gambling has
he wasn't
not
on the roster last year.
It doesn't matter.
Void it.
Doesn't matter.
Void it.
Sorsby's gambling has not drawn the attention of law enforcement, per sources, nor has he been linked to anyone attempting to influence the outcome of a contest. His gambling was a steady flurry of small bets over a period of time.
Whoa. That is a big story.
That's a big story for a guy that made a lot of money to go to Texas Tech last year from Cincinnati.
So he can waste it on, IU football futures?
Woof.
I mean, come on.
Remember when this happened to John Mateer and it just came down to Venmo payments?
Venmo, yeah.
And he was mentioning
making jokes about
UCLA spread.
Yeah.
And his contention was, it was like FIFA or we were messing around. But this is different. This is actual bets that Brendan Sorsby made himself via a gambling app. So, that's tough.
Okay.
That could throw a wrench into Texas Tech's 2026 season.
I mean, if there's one thing that we found is that the governing bodies of football I know it's not pro sports, but it is pro sports. Governing sports entities will punish you more vigorously for gambling-related infractions than anything else, it seems.
We don't necessarily know it was
Unless
him.
you killed somebody.
I think Senden Broersby could be anybody. That's what the gambling profile name was.
Yes.
It's a good thing Tennessee didn't land him.
You imagine.
Can you imagine?
You imagine.
I mean, Vols fans would have been so excited.
The meltdown.
Would have been all the way up for Brendan Sorsby. He grew up a Tennessee fan and all of this. Oh, man, what a disaster.
Yeah, I loved betting on them as a child.
Yeah, is that what he meant to say? Yeah, Josh Dobbs won me some money.
I won a lot of money off Vols games. Woof. Not ideal. So, that is a story that has a number of different consequences here.
Yeah, that could be one of the biggest stories of the year in college football.
So he went to Texas Tech?
Yes. For what was it, reported figure, $5 million off the top of my head? Reported.
Even if it's ballpark.
Yeah. I mean, he was one of the top transfer quarterbacks on the market.
Sure.
No doubt.
But even the way that the money has gone up since Carson Beck signed that deal with Miami is kind of crazy for a guy like, with all due respect to Brendan Sorsby, who was a successful quarterback at Cincinnati, but $5 million reported.
He is the apparent starter, before this news broke at Texas Tech. They have a backup quarterback that's coming off an ACL tear that, according to Joey McGuire, likely isn't going to be ready for the season opener. There's no spring portal in college football. anymore. So this could be a dicey situation for Texas Tech.
We can talk more about expectations for Ward and Tate together. Zach Lyon's going to come in here. We'll talk some draft. He had a big, successful draft 3-day mega cast, him and Stoney Keeley for the Football and Other Efforts podcast. And he had some thoughts that I think are interesting that we're going to pick apart with Zach Lyons coming up next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Zach Lyons is here.
Hello.
Hi, buddy.
Hi.
How are you?
It's been a while, at least on this show.
You dry out after your draft extravaganza, a lot of whiskey.
Yeah, some people in the chat on Ramon and Will's chat show this morning said that I was probably feeling like crap yesterday after my big time Saturday. Well, joke's on you. I had 5 beers yesterday, so can't slow this guy down.
You looked a little slower, a little worse for the wear on Friday when I saw you. After the first round.
Yeah, now listen, the Friday one was I had to kind of like plow through the Thursday hangover.
Yes.
And so eventually that day I was feeling pretty good.
It sounds like you and Stoney just had like a weekend-long sleepover.
I mean, we pretty much did the shout out to my parents for letting us and our wives stay at the, since we were down in Franklin.
No, you brought your wives?
Yeah. Yeah, they came and supported us. It's like good wives.
So y'all stayed at your parents' house all weekend?
Yeah.
So
from Thursday, we went down there Thursday night because we were down at Leapers Fork. So there's no sense in us driving.
Sleepover.
It was a draft sleepover slumber party.
Don't drink and drive. Great message by you guys.
Yeah. So I mean, we didn't have to drive anywhere all weekend, and then when the Tyron Montgomery news hit that he was signed as an undrafted free agent by the Tennessee Titans, we're in the pool.
Just imagine the two of you grabbing each other and jumping up and down vigorously.
We were playing pool basketball. Yeah.
I could see why you would think that because it did become very close that we were going to hug each other without shirtless in the pool, all dripping wet with beers in our hands.
Like, did your mom
listening to Foo Fighters?
Did your mom?
Bert's very jealous by this whole conversation.
I'm kind of jealous that I was gone, or if I even knew that there was an inkling of water, beer, and chest bumping, I think I would have came back early.
I'm imagining like your mom bringing out like lemonade and sandwiches on a tray to you guys as you're like dunking on each other on a pool basketball and being like, by the way, boys, that John Carroll receiver signed.
We screamed.
He's bringing out like pizza pockets or something like that.
Exactly.
By the
way, instead of pizza pockets, it was shrimp that was cooked in butter.
Oh,
so I mean, like
that's like how babies describe food. What'd you guys have? Shrimp cooked in butter.
Thanks, Mom. That's awesome.
Somebody said playing tummy sticks in the pool during the draft is crazy.
No, not tummy sticks.
This is a good message. It's never too. You can never grow up.
The draft is
always keep that
Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's a big old slumber party.
So on the whole, your thoughts on the draft, not to scoop them away from 1 to 3, of course, where you can hear Zach Lyons with Blaine Bishop, where the analysis will be significantly smarter than it was for these 3 hours today. You feel good, you feel bad, you feel neither about the Titans' 8 players that they picked. We'll talk UDFAs in a second.
It was all right.
All right.
That's how I would describe it, to not give too much away. I mean, it wasn't terrible. I have some issues with maybe the process itself to acquire some of these players, mainly the 2 trade ups and stuff. And I don't know what their board looks like, right? So it's really hard for me to say they didn't get good value or they took a reach. But consensus boards, wisdom of the crowds, right? Everyone wants to talk about consensus boards over the last 48 hours, but I don't know if they're really good predicting value because you don't know why a player fell, why all 32 teams allowed a player to fall below what the consensus board had them at. But for reaches, if you're reaching for a guy that had to be added to a top 300 consensus board, then that's probably not good news, for that particular player. So Jackie Marshall had to be added to the consensus board by Arif Hassan once he was drafted by the Titans. So that's probably not good news for that particular player or that particular spot being picked. But I see a clear vision. And it's hard for me to argue against a cohesive message across all these players, a vision for this team, a vision for a draft class in general. It's hard for me to argue against it. But we'll see if it works out. We'll see if this vision, this process, and everything works out. And it will take about 2 to 3 years, like everybody that knows football says.
Zach Lyons, Football and Other F Words is the podcast. You can get it wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, so is that the pick that had you scratching your head the most?
The Jackie Marshall one?
Yeah, the one that we've talked about the least on the show today, probably.
Yeah, I mean, and there's I get it, I guess. Like when you see it and you hear about what he is, like if you go and luckily we have Dane Brugler for some of this stuff. When we were doing this live and Jackie Marshall got picked, it was like, yeah. Stoney went to he went to Scouts Inc. for Jackie Marshall information. I went to the Beast, and he was awarded a single-digit jersey for work ethic and his mentality. Busts his butt in the training room, according to Dane Brugler. He's a former linebacker, former running back, a 3-star recruit. Aaron White caught and coached him at the East-West Shrine Bowl. That's all well and good for, an on-the-surface resume, but he went from 28 pressures last year to 11 pressures this year. He's not very good against the run. So, but if he turns into James Lynch, who the Vikings originally drafted in the 3rd round, then that's a win for a 6th-round pick. Like, we all have to understand, I know Jackie Marshall, there's a lot of fans. Fans tend to fill the gap between film that they can watch and games that they watch and the analytics with optimism. Like that big vacuum is just filled with optimism.
Well, it's the best case scenario is what you picture for every single pick.
It's like all the fans who think that like Anthony Hill Jr. is going to be Bobby Wagner. Slow your roll, guys. Let's just hope he ends up being Devin Lloyd or Quay Walker before we crown him Bobby Wagner.
I don't even think that's a fan thing. Like every year for as miserable as I sound sometimes and as pessimistic as I tend to be, like the draft, I came out of the draft being like, all right, that's solid. That's pretty good. That's that qualifies as optimism for me. Like it gets to everybody. That's why the draft is the thing as compelling as it is, the way that the NFL's been able to capitalize on what Lucas calls hopium.
Yeah, I think hopium is obviously a good word and everything to use. But I do agree that, this is a fine class. Now, this class could look better because these players can outperform their draft stock. They can develop their pass rush moves. Like almost every draft pick was described with the words potential or if. And listen, I'm sure there's a lot of draft classes along league-wide that are described with a lot of potentials and ifs. But if these guys just become quality starters and then you stack that upon the quality starters you got last year or quality rotational contributors, and you've stacked 2 good classes where you find low-end starters to high-end starters here and there, but rotational contributors, this solves your depth issue. This will be the best 53-man roster on paper that we have seen in a long, long time.
Since when?
I was going back and thinking about, because I think this is the best wide receiver room that we've seen ever. In terms of what's on paper, we don't know how they're going to perform, but in terms of projection, ever.
Really, more than the Julio and A.J. Brown.
Yeah, because those are just 2 guys.
And Julio was at the end.
What was the drop-off after Julio?
Julio was about the same age that Ridley is now, right?
Yeah, but you didn't have Josh Reynolds. You didn't, he left.
Legend.
He left, right? And he got booted.
He ended up having a better career at Detroit.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that was your 3rd guy. Then he ends up getting booted. And then what was it? That was the Nick Westbrook-Akine undrafted free agent year, right? It
was the year after. NWI was 2020 as a UDFA.
Yeah,
he would have been there.
So when you look at these wide receivers from top to bottom with now Io Manor is or DK.
Racey McMath for sure.
Io Manor or DK are
Mason
your
Kinsey,
5th
probably.
best wide receivers and whatever, right? Your 4th and 5th, Io Manor and DK. Guys who got you 2 500-yard seasons a year ago. Those are your depth pieces. That's your top 5 wide receivers. That's pretty good. Bryce Oliver is now your 6th. Tyron Montgomery can push Bryce Oliver for that 6th spot in my mind. Tyron Montgomery is also, for all the fans who are tired of hearing about Mason Kinsey, rest in peace, Mason Kinsey, more than likely. He's got to.
What about the other one?
Xavier Estrepo, he does not. Tyron Montgomery is better than Xavier Estrepo. Y'all can hear first.
That is that when you guys were leaving the Senior Bowl, we had Stoney on, and I can't remember how the question was framed. Just give us one of your guys from Mobile, and he was gushing about Tyron Montgomery. And by the way, Stoney is in the F&M Bank chat, and he says, Zach, my mom said I could come spend the night again this weekend. She's going to drop me off at 6, and we're stopping for Little Caesars on the way.
There you go.
Little
Get the crazy bread.
What a time.
with the cheese bread.
What a time. Zach Lyons here with us. Speaking of football and other F words and Stoney Keeley, you guys are up first on Friday, right?
We are. We're the opening act. Some say the main event, but your main event part 2, but
many people
opening
have
act.
said.
Many people have said.
Many people would prefer, probably.
Well, I mean, Mike Bergonzi's getting fired because he's on the install this year. That seems to be the growing trend.
Are you going to be brave enough to make that joke to him?
For sure.
We'll see.
Or
we can also ease the blow and make that joke for you first.
No, I'm comfortable with it. Or he survives, he breaks the curse, and he's Lisan Al-Gaib. He's the one.
He is the one.
He's the one. He's the chosen one to guide the Titans forward. Yeah, Zach and Stoney are, because they're going to let you guys in the actual venue, right?
Yeah, we don't have to be in the lobby like we were last year.
Said sit outside.
Yeah.
So Zach and Stoney will be on the stage when the doors open at 6. By the way, we have not 1 but 2 bars at the live show this year to ease the traffic a little bit. That was one of the primary complaints we received about this event the last couple of years. This will be the 4th consecutive.
Did people complain about the bar last year?
Just the line. There was
I didn't have an issue.
I couldn't. Well, me and you kept cutting. That's why.
Where were we actually cutting?
We were going, excuse me, sorry, official install business.
Whoops.
Excuse me.
You were, 1, absolutely cutting. 2, he was also drunk off Slay's half-gallon of taquitos in the green room.
Well, first, my favorite thing to do when I get there is go, yes, does Buck already have a tab open? Buck said he needed 3 double tequila sodas to his dressing room immediately. My other favorite part.
I got half of one.
Yeah. And stop telling people there are 2 bars. There's only 1 bar. Separate bars for me to sit at.
Yes. Yes. So at the live show, which is featuring Titans general manager Mike Borgonzi, that is Friday, May the 1st. That's this Friday. So you'll have a football and other F words preview. And then we will get on stage with the Titans GM. Cosell will be flying in on Thursday, and you'll have an event that is exclusive to Nashville. No other NFL market does something like this, especially not a week after the draft with a sitting general manager.
And if you ain't got your tickets yet, you need to go ahead and get them. Because all weekend, I was like, I know when I get back Monday, it's going to be sold out.
That thing is packed. I mean, last year it was standing room only if you wanted to be on unless you were a VIP, and you could, and I was, but I wanted to be down at the bottom.
What do you mean you were a VIP? You paid for a ticket?
Huh? No.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about, I could go upstairs.
Okay, yes.
Yes, you saw me.
Not everybody can go upstairs. Yes.
He saw me dressed as a woman.
Yes. Yes, I did. And it's standing room only to a certain extent. Like, if you don't get there early enough and don't get your tickets and everything, good luck.
1045thezone.com if you're watching on Zone TV. Robert has also posted the link for the tickets in the F&M Bank chat, so you can get them there.
Now, this is unrelated, but it is kind of the news of the day. You are somewhat of a gambler, yes? Mm-hmm. How do you think you would do with millions of dollars in NIL money?
I wouldn't have to gamble. I'm only trying to gamble to make that $1 million.
Okay.
Like, once I have $1 million, like Brandon Sorsby, I would not be gambling whatsoever. That money would be getting invested in other things than like real estate or something like that.
It's hard not to wonder if the problem intensified for Brendan Sorsby after those checks started rolling in from Texas Tech as he is entering a treatment center for his gambling addiction after signing that big money to go play for the Red Raiders. You mentioned during the break that you saw him talked about as a quarterback prospect at the top of the 2027 draft.
I think it was Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter, and they don't really know what's going on in the NFL draft, especially 2027, but he was billed as like one of the top 2027 NFL quarterback prospects or something. I'm like, I don't know about that one.
Cowboys are also very proactive when it comes to signing contracts.
Yes. Yeah. Famously.
Yeah. Famously. So as we look at the players that were added here, all of this is trying, at least for me, I'm just trying to learn what more Mike Borgonzi wants this team to be under him. What do you think we learned about Mike Borgonzi's preferences? It's only 2 draft classes now, and we still have UDFAs, and there will be post-draft free agency, and players don't stop signing just because the draft is concluded. There will still be trades. Levis didn't get moved for what it's worth. We keep an eye on that situation moving forward. Did you learn anything specifically about Mike Borgonzi and his preferences as a general manager as a result of this class?
If you were to create like data points or something and like scores, and I typically do, but I don't include this, you should start including like team captain should give you an extra 10 points.
Yes.
Making their bed and going to church should give you an extra 50 points. These guys are all kind of, for the most part, choir boys.
Except for the guard that stepped on a player in the Liberty Bowl.
Hey, you need one of those. Hey, listen, Kobe Baines as well. His mean streak does not lead to extracurricular activities like that, but he is a mean effort in the run game, and he's an undrafted free agent. But you need some guys like that. I know that they don't like guys like that, but they need some guys like that. And obviously, he's apologized, says he's matured, and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, all these guys are talked about. There's all kinds of quotes about their leadership, voice of the locker room, face of the team. And that's even talking about like Pat Coogan, right, for Indiana. And then you look at Pat Coogan, a guy like that, Frank Cignetti, Kurt Cignetti, and then Marcus Freeman. Those are two guys that really value leadership and all that kind of stuff. And listen, it's okay to value that kind of stuff. Sometimes you can maybe value it to a fault. I think with this team too, with this particular staff, I think they were really banking on potential over production, and I think that says how Mike Bergonzi and this staff feels about their ability as a coaching staff to get these players to reach that potential. Now, that's easier said than done, but I do think that's how they, actions speak louder than words. That's what it feels like right now.
Saleh for the defensive linemen and linebackers. Brasillo for the offensive line room is well regarded this way. I don't know how many other coaches. Dable, obviously, for quarterbacks. Don't know how many other coaches. A lot of love for Aaron Whitecotton in this process from the players. The defensive line coach who comes in here under Robert Saleh.
A few East-West Shrine Bowl guys, too, which he was down there coaching, so I think there's a strong connection there.
So if you're looking for people who have a say or at least have influence in the room, Aaron Whitecotton seems to be one of the more regularly cited individuals specific to roster construction.
Yeah. And obviously, Jaron Kanak, I know that his phone calls with...
Kanak.
Yeah, Kanak, that's right.
Kanak.
Is it Kanak or Kanak?
The phonetic spelling of it is cans, a capital C-A-N dash lowercase I-C-K. Gotcha. I take it as Kanak.
Kanak. All right. Kanak. I wish these people would start spelling their names correctly. Spell it how it sounds. Because that's not how it's spelled.
What's the worst example of that?
This is going to be a bad one. Well, you I'm sure you guys played the clip, but Elikiah Manor was butchered tremendously by Mina Kimes, just utterly butchered it.
Oh, no, I don't think we have.
Oh, you haven't? That's when Daniel Jeremiah was on or something. Or no, they were talking about, she had Trevor Sikkema or Nate Tyson, all those guys on or something about that. But she butchered both the first name and the last name. It was bad.
Yeah, I agree. We should start calling people by their phonetic names, Zach.
I am with you. See? I've a lot of people call me Zach.
Zach Leons.
You'd be Luke Ass.
Well,
no.
Yeah.
He would be. He is.
There's only one S at the end of that's a reach.
The only thing people are reaching for is that ass.
Ross put in our chat, he said, I'm going to be in the break room with cake in 15 minutes. What did Robert say? Oh, Lucas is on the air. It was really good cake, though, by the way.
Fantastic.
Orange creamsicle.
But, they just go show you. Remember how many people butchered Kevin Byard's name? Marcus's name.
Byard.
Yeah, Marcus's name. People still can't call in and can't get that one right.
Every year in the Titans media draft room, VY comes up for Honor Landry.
Yeah.
Nobody outside of Tennessee, it felt like, could pronounce Dylan Radins' name correctly. It was Raduns.
Oh, yeah, that was one. Yeah. But, for the most part, that guy seems like a one for Bones Fossil. It seems like everybody got one.
Yeah,
it's like Spider-Man.
Well, that was...
everybody gets one.
But in all seriousness, that was the way that I was talking about the objective for them, as I saw it, was balance.
Yeah.
It's not... If you take a defender in round 1, you're not helping Cam Ward. No, your job is then to help Cam Ward in round 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
Right.
If you take the wide receiver or the running back in round 1, okay, well, what about this defense? And Robert Saleh, what he wants. You have to straddle this situation, given that the roster needs literally everything. And so you try to accomplish as much as humanly possible. You spread yourself or spread your assets as much as humanly possible across the roster. And it seems that, at least in principle, we'll see how all these players play out. And, of course, we can't predict health or anything like that. But in principle, they seem to have accomplished that first objective.
Yeah, and I do think that you got a very pretty much like confirmed insight into how they're going to run, what they want out of their offensive linemen and what kind of scheme they're going to run as far as a run scheme. Because this seems like, I mean, even Nicholas Singleton at Penn State ran primarily in a gap scheme up in Penn State. All these players that they drafted and signed aren't athletic beasts on the offensive line, but they are like big people movers with, limited athleticism. Yeah. And durability and run stuffers. Like, these guys are going to play some bully ball and play a little bit more of a gap scheme, which is different than what we have seen these last few years, which has been more zone oriented kind of stuff, which makes you wonder, is Kevin Zeitler really going to be signed here? I don't think so. But I do think they may still sign one or two veterans, but I don't think it's going to be like Kevin Zeitler.
It seems to be trending away from Kevin Zeitler for what it's worth. Could they get desperate and offer him more money than they previously have and something come to fruition? Sure, but it does seem to be trending in a direction away from Kevin Zeitler.
Yeah.
So, Zach Lyons.
Thanks, Zach.
1 to 3. Zach Leon.
Love you, Zach.
Love you, Bert.
1 to 3. Blaine Bishop coming up next. Much smarter draft analysis. Thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you, guys. Can't wait to talk about NBA playoffs tonight on cover 2 from 1 to 3. No NFL draft, just the NBA wall-to-wall coverage.
I would actually love that. That would make me very, very happy.
Pistons at Magic, Thunder at Suns, Timberwolves at Nuggets.
Polls next. I didn't do them. Last call for phone calls if you got them. Fun show. If you missed any of it, check out the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And speaking of podcasts, we got a live one on Friday. Titans GM Mike Borgonzi is our guest co-host this year. Tickets available at 1045thezone.com. Friday, May the 1st. Greg Cosell, Mike Borgonzi. Hell, I'll just get off the stage and you guys can enjoy some smarter football talk with two of the best minds doing it, an active GM and the premier NFL analyst. Is Greg the longest one that's been doing film breakdowns for the public? Like longest tenured one? Now Dan Orlovsky obviously does it. You have players doing it a great deal now, but like Greg making it a part of a part of the public discourse and film breakdowns specifically. Like, I don't know if anybody predates Greg doing it.
And Charlie Chaplin was doing film breakdowns for a while.
Silent film breakdowns?
Yes. I was supposed to ask you this last week. Have we gotten Mike Borgonzi's rider yet? Everything that he expects in his dressing room?
So I asked him if he would like for us to provide a car service or if he was comfortable with the parking validation situation. I have not yet received the menu of plays that he would like for us to have because, of course, we're going to break down the players on the stage with live film. And, of course, for those of you whose complaint on YouTube was that we did not have the film cut-ups for you to see on YouTube, we will have those for you this year, but I'm going to put it behind a paywall that you have to donate to get. So that's the trade, which I think is fair because it's a donation to Home Street Home, not a for-profit venture. This is, of course, we do the live show because the live show is fun, but also because it's a great cause for Home Street Home. That's the charity that this thing has always been a part of or has allowed us to partner with them, Stephen and Andy Young. Stephen is going to be at the show, so I'm sure you'll get to hear the message of the great work they're doing for the unhoused community here in Middle Tennessee for yourself. We should probably have Stephen on at some point this week as well to tell people about it because it's just a good cause to donate to no matter what time. In the lead up to this thing. 1045thezone.com for tickets. But no, I've not gotten requests as far as I need 100,000 packs of Skittles or something like that. Did you guys ever, you were in a fraternity in college. Did you guys ever book like a rap act for, what was your big weekend? IU's was just this weekend. It was Little 500. Like your big weekend where there's a bunch of parties on campus. Is there like a boxing
weekend is
boxing
the big
weekend?
One, yeah.
Okay,
but that's a deal where like a bunch of different ones pitch in to get. It was Waka Flocka multiple years. One time it was 2 Chainz and he showed up. I did not attend, and I'm glad I didn't because he showed up like an hour and a half after he was supposed to go on and played like 10 minutes and then left, and everybody was livid.
Yeah,
we got Wiz Khalifa arrested in Greenville.
Sure.
He came to do a big show, and then apparently his tour bus reeked of marijuana. Shock, surprise. The crowd gasps.
By the way, did you see him performing next to Bret Michaels?
Yes,
at the draft.
I was confused by that.
That was an interesting duo.
I guess they're both Steelers
That's the Jay Glazer connection. Have you not seen the video that Jay Glazer shares every single year on the year anniversary of Bret Michaels being at his house and playing Every Rose Has Its Thorn as he pans the camera? Oh, look how affluent I am. I'm Jay Glazer. Everyone loves me.
Hey, here's my the coach's pool party.
Yeah, I heard he got a 28 of 32 NFL head coaches. Who wasn't?
We're on to you, McVay.
Who wasn't there? Oh, Rabel. Oh, Windhorse fingers.
Yeah.
I need those added to emojis, by the way.
All that Windhorse fingers?
Yes, just the, I'm saying this.
Well, you can make them a sticker now, right? You can take the picture and make it like a sticker that you text to your friends.
Oh, my. Have I been sending you guys stickers? How did you know about that?
Somebody did that to me the other day. I was like, the hell is this?
Here, I'm going to put...
Anyway. No, Mike Borgonzi did not send me a list of demands like a rapper on a college campus playing an event. Like, I need 1,000 packs of Skittles and
like a rider. And you put it in the rider. Like, was it Guns N' Roses that demanded? Who was it? Did you say this already? Like the brown M&M's thing.
Strikes me as a green M&M's guy. Yeah, we did that, buddy. That's okay though.
What are you doing? What is going on in your head while we're doing a live radio show that you're actively not listening to? I might argue 2/3 of.
You told us about the rap thing. That's why we were talking about the rider.
Why do you think we got to the rider?
I was talking to someone in the chat. Bibbidi Bobbidi and I were having a conversation.
That sounds about right. It's your imaginary friend. Aaron is in Murfreesboro. Hey, Aaron.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you guys hear him? I can't hear him.
Dad, stop.
So, first of all, Bert and Lucas, I love you both. Buck, you have the show.
Yeah, feeling mutual.
Lucas, you ate Bert's fingernail earlier in the show. So first of all,
I did not. I did not, Aaron. I threw it.
You did. So I'm calling in.
I thought we were
the
friends.
Carnell Tate. I'm calling in about the Carnell Tate pick, Buck. You seem to hate, or not hate, but you're kind of down on it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy didn't have any drops last year. He was playing behind Jeremiah Smith. I'm high on the pick as a diehard Titans fan. So I don't know. I think that he can pan out to be something that the Titans really need. I'm just now chiming back in after Lucas ate Bert's fingernail. So
yeah, it was gross.
Yeah.
Did I say I was down on it? I said it was safe. Feels safe.
No, you actually didn't give any opinion on it.
It's just your natural
Somehow.
tone. I think people just jumped to the conclusion that Buck wasn't a fan of something.
Yeah, I didn't
know. You showed up grumpy on Friday and did not have any opinion on it and just seemed to just want to
I did want to go home.
Bother people.
I hate remotes. I just hate them.
Well, this thing on Friday is kind of like a remote. Who the hell's calling? Why is Cheyenne calling me?
Pick up the phone.
She just hung up. She knew. She knew I was about to put her ass on air. How dare you? You know I'm spoken for between the hours of 10 and 1.
I know. I'm sorry if I was in a bad mood on Friday. I didn't want to be there and I was tired.
It's okay.
I'm fine with it. It's safe. It's the second best offensive player on the board for a quarterback that needs a weapon. That's fine. It doesn't need to be the best pick in the world. It's certainly not the worst pick in the world. It's fine. It's safe. There, an opinion.
Which is good. Right, safe is good.
Safe is good for a team that is a nightmare when it comes to the draft. Like you're not. There's no can't miss prospects in the draft. But if you can minimize your risk as much as humanly possible while you raise the floor, at some point you can start taking bigger swings as you're comfortable with. And there are projection players in here that they've taken bigger risks on. Carnell Tate was not a risk. Nobody considers Carnell Tate to be a risk. There's no injury risk. There's no behavioral risk. There's no projection, right? This is a safe player that may not be a Hall of Famer, gold jacket, surefire, Ring of Honor guy, but he'd be a starting wide receiver for you on a team that desperately needs them. So it's safe. Had I done the polls today?
Can't wait to do polls. Favorite part of the show.
I set an alarm on my phone now. God. So now at 9:45, I will be reminded to do the polls because I have forgotten to do the polls. But
make you an offer that you get refused. God, I love the polls.
I hate you.
Yes. And what did they say? Oh, Lucas will do it. I love him.
Not even listening.
He took his headset off.
He literally took his headset off. He's just going to leave and go eat more of that orange sherbet cake.
Yeah, if I have anything to, I'm going to fill it with fingernails if he doesn't update. He can't even hear me. He can't even hear me.
The show's over now.
Can we just go home?
Yeah, I'm down to go home. The polls would have been presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Stay safe. We're expecting some weather tonight. Make sure you take the proper precautions following Nashville severe weather. Prime time at 7 p.m.